Chris Olave. KJ Hill, 6-yard touchdown catch. Right sideline and down he goes to the end zone.
WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's live, it's local, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
All right, everybody, welcome in. It is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area, with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. Kevin, happy Friday.
It's a Friday.
It's a little bit warmer outside. The week is wrapping up. We're heading into the weekend. March Madness, Selection Sunday is quickly approaching. The Big Ten tournament starts next week. Ohio State has a big game on Saturday to close out the regular season. The Dayton Flyers in action coming up at 3:30. They have VCU. So there's a lot going on. More mock drafts in the NFL are out.
New intro.
I mean, we got it all going on. I feel pretty good here on a Friday, and I hope everyone else is as well. I mean, I tell you, it's not Texas by any means. We're not all wide open, but it's a good start to the weekend. I tell you that much. Real quick, I want to open up just with a couple big boys basketball games this weekend as well. OHSAA district final tournament action. Again, the state finals for the girls and the boys tournament going to be held at UD Arena this year, usually held in Columbus between the Shot and St. John's, but this year, of course, going to be at UD Arena. The girls was originally going to be here anyways, but the boys state tournament was just announced a few weeks ago that it was going to be pushed and moved to UD Arena. Miamisburg Vikings have Moeller. All right, this is a big-time tournament run for Miamisburg. They're 17-7. Moeller 18-4. Now they've won the last 2 state titles, and they do that. They win a lot.
Yeah.
They were favored to win it last year, so technically we might as well just give it to them. Okay, so they've won 3 straight state championships. So Miamisburg, they have their work cut out for them. But the Vikings, they've had one heck of a season. So shout out to them. The Elks Centerville, they take on Mason this weekend. It's going to be 4:30 on Saturday. And look, for Centerville, it's their 7th district finals appearance in the last 9 years. They're used to getting this far in the tournament, of course, but when you get to regionals, that's where the competition really just increases as well. It just gets tougher and tougher. Centerville always has a good basketball team.
Absolutely. Shouts out to my nephew, Trey Johnson, starting center for the Elks.
So 21-3. Is Centerville this season. Mason 18-5, and that's going to be a big powerhouse matchup right there. How about the Wayne Warriors? They're 17-4 this year. They have St. Xavier coming up. They're going to be at Centerville High School as well tomorrow night. 7:30 will be the tip-off for that one. Couple more games here. The Trotwood Rams, they're 10-6 this year. They're taking on Cincinnati McNicholas. Again, that's going to be 3 p.m. Saturday. They're going to be at Princeton. Trotwood right now, out of Division II, Kev, they're the only defending D2 district champions left right now in the D2 side of things. So, and keep in mind, I mean, they were in the regional final last year. They were supposed to take on Thurgood, if I'm not mistaken, at UD Arena with a chance to get back to the state. Was it state semis or state? It was state semis. It was the state semis. So, regional.
Was it? Oh, yes, because
regional.
The boys are like a week behind.
Yep. Yeah, so it's regional semis. And again, that was a big one that we were, all looking forward to. And of course, that's when everything really came kind of raining down on everybody. Tippecanoe, Miami Valley League champions, they're 20-1 on the season. They're taking on Cincinnati Indian Hill. That's going to be a noon tip-off at Trotwood High School tomorrow. So a big day in college or in high school basketball tomorrow for the boys side of things. We'll have the girls roundup coming up for you around the corner. We're going to start keeping more closer attention to what's going on as the tournament heaps up as we get closer and closer to the state championship. But again, the state tournament for the girls starts just around the corner. The boys a week later will be crowning state champions again. Remember, high school basketball didn't get that a year ago. Football's been pretty fortunate, right? Like, I mean, they experienced a little hiccup. Look, I'm not going to lie. The crowds for being shrunk down this year due to COVID for high school football. The games that we called were still loud, were still passionate. It was still a good experience considering the next best option was no football at all. So it was an interesting year. But basketball, it's been a fun run for these high school teams to kind of get back to normal and try to get back what they lost last year, especially for some of these teams who are used to playing deep into the off season and into the postseason. So
I'm so happy for the kids, man, especially the ones that were on the team last year and their seasons got cut short, so they get the chance to not only only play a full regular season, but they also get a chance to compete for the championship that they all work so very hard for, man. So I'm blown away that we're able to do the things that we are able to do during COVID and everything like that. We talked about this on our Zoom call about how, we're still working and everything like that, but you got to commend everybody that volunteers. These coaches that coach these kids, they're not getting the millions of dollars that college basketball coaches or NBA coaches are getting. They're volunteering their time because of the passion of the game and the love for these kids and helping them develop not only on the basketball court or whatever sports arena, but to help them develop as people. So I definitely salute all the coaches out there sacrificing time, and the parents as well. These kids are 15, 16 years old. They don't get to these games by themselves. The parents got to take them to these games, and the parents got to fork over a lot of money for clothes, shoes, and everything like that, man. So everybody's be commended for helping this season continue and get underway, and soon we'll be crowning the champion, man.
Yeah, Chris on Facebook says, "Go Elks." That game is at Lakota West, so the Elks game tomorrow. Again, in the state, or not state, I keep saying state, the district. We're in the district round on the boys' side of things. Centerville taking on Mason tomorrow at Lakota West. So Centerville again making their 7th district finals appearance in the last 9 years. It's a team that's used to playing this far into the tournament, and again, this is my favorite time. Tournament basketball. Let me ask you this: if you state football, state basketball, football, or let's say football tournament runs, basketball tournament runs, which are more exciting if you think back to just being a student in high school?
The funny part about it is I played on the football team, but we were more excited about our basketball team because they were good. So I'm gonna go with basketball.
See, our football team was bad. My high school, I went to Van Wert High School. Our football team was horrible when I was in high school, but they just won their first state title ever this year.
Nice.
In fact, the quarterback for Van Wert just signed to be the quarterback at Wittenberg, so that's pretty
nice.
Cool. It was always basketball, but we were never great we were really good at basketball. We were state ranked. I told you we lost to Toledo Libby. We lost Upper Sandusky my junior year with John Diebler, and then we lost to William Buford and Toledo Libby my next year late in the tournament too. So it's like we always ran into those teams. We never had a damn chance. Like, we were always good. We beat up on the other teams around the area. We couldn't beat those guys though. That was never going to happen. I have to show you a picture. I'm guarding William Buford in one picture, and he is towering over me. It's embarrassing.
How tall?
I am 5'5.5" or 5'8", depending on which coach likes me in the roster. So there's that.
William Buford is a 6'5" shooting guard.
Yeah, basically. But it wasn't just him. I mean, he had other trees on that roster as well. It was unreal. But no, for me, I felt like our school, the basketball tournament runs were always so much just more fun. And that's even with football too, even going to, football tournament games. They're exciting. They're fun. The community's into it. But I feel like the student section was just because it's louder, it's inside. But like I said, I'm always a big basketball fan when it comes to the boys or when the tournament runs for boys and girls basketball. I feel like the community, it's a lot of fun. It's fun for both football and basketball. But for me, I'm going to always say basketball, just like you did.
Yeah.
457-9464. We are live on Facebook as well. If you head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show. You could jump in on the conversation. As we're winding down the season for high school basketball for both boys and girls. The girls, getting set to start their regionals, and then you have the boys, right now in their districts, and it's just a fun time of season for basketball, especially at the high school level. But for those of you, for your parents especially, I'm curious parents' thoughts too. For kids who do play both and kids who play on both good football and basketball teams, which tournament runs are more entertaining? Which ones bring to you more memories? For me, like I said, it's basketball. You said basketball, but I think it just depends. I'm curious from parents or kids who've played at high schools that had good football teams if they would defer. So there's that. We have a lot to get into today. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers. The Dayton Flyers, they're going to be in action coming up here in a little bit. They're 14-8 on the season. They have some losses that you would like to forget, but they also have some wins that make you feel like, okay, we want to be down about the losses, but because they've proven they could beat the best teams in their conference and they beat some really good competition in the non-con, there's always room to believe in this team just because of the fact that they've proven that they could do it. But there's always that doubt in the back of your head because they've lost to some of the worst of the worst. They're in the quarterfinals of the A-10 tournament today. Game tips off at 3:30. They have the VCU Rams, and things haven't gone well the last two times that they've played VCU. They lost their last matchup against VCU 76-67, and they lost the matchup before that 66-44. 42-43. That first matchup at VCU, I mean, I think that was the one where they had like 13 points with a few minutes to go in the first half. I mean, it was just not pretty at all. But Dayton's playing much better basketball right now. If you look at they've won 3 of their last 4. 3 of the last 4 wins include wins over St. Bonaventure, wins over St. Louis, and wins over Rhode Island yesterday, of course, punching their ticket or at least advancing in the A-10 tournament to the quarterfinal round today. They do have that ugly loss to St. Joe's, though. Right. That's the problem. That's the ugly one right there. But again, that's one of those nights where they were just off at both ends of the floor. But we saw yesterday what they're capable of. Ibby Watson had a huge game, 25 points. They're going to have to rely on him and Jalen Crutcher. They're going to need big games from both of those guys today if they want a chance of beating VCU. I think everyone felt confident that they were capable of beating Rhode Island yesterday, mainly because they split with them. VCU's a different cat, though, this year. VCU's really good, and they've had the Flyers' number, but it is tough. It's tough to beat the same team twice in a year. It's even tougher to beat them 3 times in a year, and that's working against VCU. They have a couple players banged up and not 100%, so that also could be in the favor of the Flyers. We'll see what happens, though, but they've never beat VCU in the A-10 tournament.
Really?
Yeah, that's what's, so they could put all of that to rest here today.
Let's hope so, man. Go Flyers.
All right. So again, that's coming up at 3:30. We're going to step away for a few minutes. Again, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. On the other side, Todd McShay. We're going to switch back to the NFL. I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
So as this is the setup for the tease. Yesterday, Big Ben reworked his contract with your Pittsburgh Steelers, and not just reworked. I mean, he took an actual cut. It wasn't reworked. I thought it was going to be reworked to where money would just be pushed to the back end. Kev, he literally took less. I mean, he lost money on this deal to come back. He did not want his lasting memory as a football player in the NFL and a Hall of Fame career, 2-time Super Bowl champion, one of the best of all time, be remembered of losing to the Cleveland Browns. There's just no way. There's no way that was going to be his exiting of his NFL career. So he took less money and he's back. So that means with all the quarterback turmoil around the NFL, the AFC North, I think, is like the most steady.
Yeah.
We officially know that. I think the AFC North is the only division that we officially 100% know who the quarterbacks are heading into next season. You have Joe Burrow, you have Lamar Jackson, you have Big Ben, you have Baker Mayfield. But Big Ben's coming back. He didn't look so hot last year. Is he the worst quarterback in the division? That's a question for you to ponder. We'll discuss on the other side. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. When we come back, the show is presented by Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area, with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. We'll be back in just a moment.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be clear and sunny, a high near 45. Tonight's going to be mostly clear, a low around 24. And tomorrow's going to be clear and sunny, a high near 45. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
You decided to upgrade your outdoor deck. So you order the essentials: a power washer, a set of patio chairs, and a shiny new grill. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential deck addition, a bird feeder. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
There's nothing better than a fresh-made home-style meal, but not everyone loves the hassle of cooking. At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, home-style happens here with our famous 12-piece family meal at a great price. This famous family meal includes 12 mixed pieces of Lee's fresh, never-frozen chicken that is honey-dipped, hand-breaded, and cooked to perfection, plus 3 large sides and 6 fluffy biscuits. Get a home-style meal made easy today with Lee's 12-piece family meal at a great price. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Simplicity Health Direct Primary Care is now open and accepting a very limited number of new patients in Centerville and surrounding areas. Why Simplicity Health? Fewer patients means higher quality care and an unprecedented amount of time with the doctor where your visit will never feel rushed. Whether you have the best insurance or no insurance at all, Simplicity Health has plenty to offer you. Simplicity Health also offers in-house pharmacy and lab services, serving as a one-stop shop for your health care at a fraction of retail costs. To learn more, visit simplicityhealthdpc.com. Procter & Gamble, the company behind some of your favorite brands like Tide and Charmin and Pampers, is now hiring entry-level technicians at the Dayton Distribution Center. P&G is offering a competitive pay rate of $16.44 per hour for 8 and 12-hour rotating shifts, plus an additional per-hour rotating shift incentive. P&G offers a comprehensive benefit package on day one, including medical, dental, and 401k. For more information, visit pgcareers.com. Search for Dayton and apply today. Procter & Gamble is an equal opportunity employer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsummers.com. That's Summers with an O, kirklandandsummers.com.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Connect with your favorite radio shows through contests, social media, and podcasts. Create custom alarms with your favorite radio stations, all free with the radio.com app.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Sure thing. We can help you replace those wipers. If yours are squeaking or streaking, it's probably time. We've got a wide selection of wipers that can stand up to any weather, including the right ones for your make and model. We've even got more ways to get them fast, like our next day delivery or free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune into Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, we are back. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash, and we are live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Dayton Flyers and VCU getting set to tip off 11 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now to be exact. 3:30 will be the tip-off. It's the Dayton Flyers, the VCU Rams, A-10 quarterfinal action. And keep in mind, like, this is interesting. Like, Dayton's at VCU. Right. Even though it's a neutral court, luckily there's no fans allowed at I think there's some. I can't remember for the A-10 if there's fans allowed. I know that there's going to be fans, a select amount of fans allowed at the A-10 title game. I can't remember for the rest. But either way, the bottom line is that one of the best players for VCU, Bones Highland, he's back. He is back in the starting lineup, and there were some questions about some guys for VCU that, of course, a lot of Flyer fans were feeling good about. Okay, good, they're vulnerable, but he is back. Look, even at full force, yes, VCU has been better than UD this year. As I've said before, the Dayton Flyers are frustrating because we know that they are capable of beating anybody. That's what makes them interesting. To me, could be. To me, it's always it could be worse. I would rather them be this than a team that you just know that they're going to be done the second they step foot on the floor. Dayton's interesting because they could lose to anybody, which makes them interesting, and they could beat anybody, which makes them interesting. But fans don't want interesting. Fans want the number 3 team in the country. Fans want the number 1 damn seed in the NCAA tournament. I get it. It just sucks that this is what resulted a year after what was a magical run in the regular season. There's no March Madness. But this team's intriguing because of that, because you don't know what you get. There are teams you just know they're bad, and they're bad, and you just move on. With UD, it's a little different because they're capable of beating anybody on any given night, but they've proven they can lose to anybody. But Bones Highland back in the lineup for VCU, going to make things a little bit more difficult. Flyers 3.5-point dogs for this matchup coming up here at 3:30. But Ebby Watson, 25 points yesterday. They're going to need another big performance from him today. They're going to need, obviously Jalen Crutcher to step up as well and make big plays throughout. They're going to have to be the primary scorers for them. I mean, they always are, but they're going to have to be. They're going to have to raise their game. They're going to have to play above their regular season stats for the game today against the Rams that tips off here in just under 10 minutes. So I found this interesting, Kev. Before the mock draft, Todd McShay, we'll get to all that coming up later on. But and that's always interesting, too, because now those are going to start coming out a little bit more rapid fires. We get closer and closer. And, I love when people rip these guys. Look, they're not pretending to be drafting for all of these teams. They are building these mock drafts for one, because for everyone out there that says that they're stupid, you're the reason that they do this. They are paid a lot of money basically just to do this. Todd McShay and everyone else, they're kind of like Joe Lunardi. They're all really, really good at their job. They are really featured heavily for a couple months of the year, and then they're sprinkled in programming for the rest. But because they are so valuable for those months leading up to the draft, because they are so valuable for those months leading up to Selection Sunday, that's why these guys exist. And all people do is rip them. And what people also have the habit of doing, like for Joe Lunardi, it always fascinates me, is Joe Lunardi is not on the selection committee.
Right.
So when people are, look, he's wrong. Joe Lunardi, based on, especially in the draft conversations, a lot of that stuff is they're doing it based on they talk with every GM. They talk with every coach. They've been doing this for almost 30 plus years, at least Mel Kiper has. They have a lot of sources that goes into this. They do their homework. You don't have to like the selections that they make. You may not like. I don't really like how they're evaluating Justin Fields, but to be fair, I think that they're evaluating Justin Fields based on the buzz that they're getting from who they talk to around the National Football League. So we kind of have to take that, but we'll get into that. But you know what I mean? People always get so angry at them. They're not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen, but based on what they're hearing, here's how they project it to be.
Yeah. It's definitely a tough job. You try to go out there and do a mock draft, a first round and a second round and a third round. And then now, for the first time, Mel Kiper is including trades in that. So he's going off of what he's hearing. He's going off of what he saw on tape as well. So he's giving a lot of effort into this. And let's be perfectly clear, man. Most people only see the ball. They don't know what happens outside of the ball. They know, oh, man, we get it to number 15. He could sure run and catch. Let's draft him. They don't know anything about, the guys up front, the guys that really make things happen, down there in the trenches with the defense and offensive linemen. We as fans look at numbers oh, man, he has a ton of sacks. He's good. or, oh man, they're telling me he had 15 interceptions in college. He's good. But they don't know anything about the other technical aspects of the game of football, and all that type of things. So there's tons of guys that are going the first round that none of us even heard of before. And especially you and I, and we're huge college football fans. So I don't really get bent out of shape about these mock drafts. Of course, I look at my team and who are they going to draft versus team need and everything like that. And of course, I look at see where the Buckeyes are going to fall. And of course, I'm looking at Justin Fields like, oh man, of course I want him to go really high, but I know deep down inside, later he goes, that means he's probably going to a better situation. That means his career is going to be better. So, you got to take it with a grain of salt, man. This is part of the entertainment. It's a part of the build up to the NFL draft. And if they are wrong about your favorite guy, guess what? You can tell them they're wrong and you can wave the flag for your favorite guy.
And there you go. And that's what people do. They just, They say it just a little bit, they use words we're not allowed to use on the radio when they do it. So keep that in mind. But we're going to get into Todd McShay's latest mock draft. Justin Fields still continues to be a fascinating piece in all of this because one draft board, he moves up. The other draft time, he moves back. So one draft board comes out, it moves back. So we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll get into that coming up. Big Ben Roethlisberger. My response on this is actually going to surprise many, many people. So buckle up. This isn't a hot take either. The Steelers announced yesterday that Ben Roethlisberger has officially signed a new contract, or at least reworked his original contract. And they did not. What I anticipated was that they were just, from what we were hearing as well, that they were just going to rework the contract. Basically, he was going to be owed, I think, like $20 million this coming up, or $19 million, or whatever it was that he was going to be due this coming up season. That they were going to take that. He was going to keep it. They were just going to basically cap it onto the backside of the contract and get paid more next year, the year after, however they're going to make it work. That's not what happened. Big Ben went in there, and he took less money.
Yeah.
$5 million less.
Yep.
And by taking $5 million less, it saves them. It saves them $15 million plus dollars on top of the $5 million that they have to pay. So they're saving. He just opened up $20 million for them to be able to spend. That's huge. That's right up there with the Cleveland Browns now. That's big because they went from not being able to basically, they weren't even going to be able to play with him if he was going to stick to his original contract. And I just find all of this fascinating. The bottom line is now they have $20 million. They have opportunities to go out and rework some deals. They're going to be able to keep some guys. They have to focus on the defense because let's be honest, the defense is what has been always the face of the Steelers organization, even going back, decades ago. But really, what Pittsburgh learned 2 years ago without Big Ben, they were 8-8 with two of the worst quarterbacks in the National Football League. They were 8-8 with two of the worst quarterbacks in the National Football League. And had there been in the expanded playoffs 2 years ago, they were a playoff team 2 years ago without Big Ben. Yep. That's how good this defense is. They don't need a great quarterback. Like Dwayne Haskins, to me, even as bad as he was with Washington, Kev, I still feel more confident with him at quarterback than I do the other two. The other two aren't terrible, but it's just Dwayne Haskins, I feel like, has more pop in his arm and has more playmaking opportunities with his arm to make plays down the field. So I feel like Pittsburgh is in one of those situations where with Big Ben, you saw what kind of difference he made, where they won 12 games in the regular season. So he comes back. And they increased their win total big time. Their defense is the same as it was the year before, basically. And the only difference was Big Ben was inserted back. Still the same shaky offensive line, still the same bottom three in the league run game. You still had your receivers in Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, they did slightly improve, of course, with the play of Claypool, which was a nice draft selection there. And they're going to have to rely on more draft selections, especially on the offensive side of the ball, if they're really going to want to take another step forward. But it got me to thinking, you look at all the turmoil in the NFL, and I asked this before the break, Kev, the AFC East, there's a lot of question marks there. Who's the Patriots quarterback going to be? Who's the Jets quarterback going to be? The Bills are set. The Dolphins, you think it's Tua, but a lot of things can change, especially with Deshaun Watson floating around out there. Look at the AFC South. The Jaguars, rookie quarterback. The Titans have theirs. The Colts go and they get their guy from the Eagles. But how confident are they that he's going to come in and pick up where he left off in 2017. I don't think that happens. Texans are a disaster. Across the board, across the league, every division it's a big question mark as far as the quarterback lineup is concerned. But I look at the AFC North and the NFC West. Those are the main two divisions. I'm like, oh, yeah, they're set.
Yep.
The Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, we officially know who their quarterbacks are in 2021. The Cardinals, the Rams, the Niners, and Seahawks. Niners GM came out yesterday and said they are officially moving forward with Garoppolo. So that's one big, again, we've heard that before. Again, you always have to take that with a grain of salt. But other teams have done with, like what we heard the Steelers do. As of right now, he's a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Right.
and the Lions did, no, not the Lions. The Rams did that with Jared Goff, and look where he went. Garoppolo, nope, he's our quarterback moving forward. I thought that was, a good, strong, definitive stance. But you look at the AFC North, and you got to start questioning, okay, that's a great division, one of the best divisions in football, one of the deepest divisions in football. It might be the best quarterback division in football from top to bottom, in my opinion, as far as overall talent. But Big Ben's coming back. But Big Ben's old, right? He was bad last year, right? I disagree. Big Ben, is he the worst quarterback in the AFC North? He takes $5 million less. He's going to make he's making $14 million next year. Kev, he's making $14 million. Patrick Mahomes is making $30 more million than he is. Now, he's better than Big Ben, don't get me wrong. But when you look at the stats last year for Big Ben was not bad. The Steelers were just not a good offensive team. They were only in the games that they were in because of Big Ben, because of the pass game. I look at this AFC North, and I can tell you right now, Big Ben is not the worst quarterback in the AFC North. He is the second best quarterback in the AFC North. And I learned my lesson with Tom Brady 2 years ago. The things we're saying about Big Ben right now, Kev, are the same things everyone said about Tom Brady 2 years ago. Remember Tom Brady? He's old. Father Time's caught up with him. Mm-hmm. They got beat by the Titans in the playoffs. They're no good. They're not good anymore. Well, the Patriots aren't good anymore, but you saw with Tom Brady what happened. You put an offensive line in front of him. You give him some nice wide receivers. You give him some options at tight end. You give him a nice little run game. You give him a deep. Oh, wada bing, wada boom, boom. Tom Brady's back to being the 40-year-old, genius that he is, the great athlete that he is. Well, I don't know about athlete, but the great quarterback that he is. And I think it's the same with Big Ben. They have to focus on the offensive line this offseason, and it's a deep offseason, offensive lineman lineup as far as that goes, as far as free agents in the draft is concerned. They're going to address that. I think Big Ben is the second best quarterback in the AFC North, and this is where fans are going to be kind of shocked by me. And I'm also going to anger a fan base here, and that's okay. Lamar Jackson still has to be. I think Lamar is the most difficult quarterback to game plan for. You can game plan for Joe Burrow. You can game plan for Baker Mayfield. You can game plan for Big Ben. You can't game plan for Lamar Jackson. There's no game plan for. Outside of telling your defenders to run fast after him, there is no game plan for Lamar. He's number one in the AFC North. Mm-hmm. Big Ben's number two. He threw for, he was second in the league in total pass attempts last year. He was top 5 in total yards. He was top 5 in touchdowns. Big Ben did it all for the Steelers. He was their offense last year. They're bottom 3 in their run game. Pittsburgh has no run game. They are garbage with their run game. He did all of that with Juju Smith-Schuster being his number 1 wide receiver. And Chase Claypool was one hell of an addition, don't get me wrong. But Juju Smith-Schuster is not a number 1 wide receiver. Imagine if Big Ben had OBJ like Baker has. Imagine if he was able to have a T. Higgins and a Tyler Boyd like what Joe Burrow has. Imagine. Well, Lamar doesn't have anything either. But you see my point. My point is I have Lamar 1. I do have Big Ben 2. And I can make an argument for Big Ben still as the top quarterback there. Put talent around Big Ben, and it's going to be like what we saw with Tom Brady this past year. I'm telling you. I do have Baker at 3 over Joe Burrow. Baker's 3 years in the league. He's won a lot of games. He's thrown a lot of touchdowns. He's thrown for a lot of yards. He's done things that only Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning have done in their first 3 seasons in the NFL as far as touchdowns and yards and everything else. So I'm all on board with Baker being number 3. No disrespect to Joe Burrow, but you've played 10 games in your career. You haven't won a lot of games. You threw for a lot of yards, but you're like James Harden on a bad team in the NBA. A lot of stats, no wins. That has to account for something. The Bengals will be better next year, and we'll reevaluate the rankings at that point. But for right now, it's Lamar 1, Big Ben 2, Baker 3, and Joe Burrow 4. And I mainly have Big Ben moved up the way I did, Kev, is because the Steelers now do have money that they are going to be able to fill some gaps. They don't have a ton, but it is enough to be able to slightly improve that Steelers roster next year. One more time before you, Kev. Mm-hmm. Lamar 1, Big Ben 2, Baker 3, and, of course, Joe Burrow 4.
I'm going to cheat. And bring up a couple things. The first thing I'm going to bring up is the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers had 41 drop passes. Juju, actually, I know people will call him a second receiver and everything like that, but he lined up in the slot, and his drop rate was only 3%. That is the league average. So he wasn't the one dropping the ball. My guy, Deontay, him too. My guy, Deontay Johnson. I'm a big fan of Deontay Johnson. I actually caught him on a MAC championship game. Played for Toledo, and he was balling. I was like, man, this dude nice. And oh man, my Steelers drafted that dude I was watching on a Friday night. That's dope. All right, cool. Let's check him out. Solid rookie year. I called it going into his second year. He's going to have a breakout year. Stats wise, he had a solid season, but he dropped 14% of his passes. That's unacceptable. Ebron, he dropped 11% of his passes. James Washington, a veteran, dropped 12% of his passes. So what I'm trying to say is, look, man, yes, Ben was horrendous in that game versus the Browns. Horrendous. I mean, he just wasn't horrendous. Marquise Pouncey, the center, was terrible too. And when you dig yourself a hole like that, it was crazy that they actually were in the game halfway through the third quarter. Kudos to the Browns for taking control back of the game and everything like that. I bring up the 41 drops because if you just cut that in half, how many more passing yards is that? How many more third down conversions are that? How much longer are you holding on to the ball for the offense? But I agree with you. With him taking so much less money this year, it allows them to free up space to sign people. And the people you need to sign are the big uglies up front. You need to find your offensive line. You need to fix the offensive line, fix the offensive line, fix the offensive line. Look, man, I love TJ Watt. I love Bud Dupree. But Bud Dupree, he ain't coming back, man. We ain't got enough money to pay him. Somebody's going to pay him some big time money and go get your money. I'm all for it. But the focus of the offseason should not be spent on the defense. The primary focus should be focused on fixing that offensive line. Juju Smith, I love him. It's my dude. But you got to let him walk to fix the offensive line. The offensive line is the primary reason why they faltered down the stretch to the back half of the regular season. That is the reason. Because not only because guys were hurt, guys are old, guys just retired, guys just ain't good. You got practice squad guys out there. Look, man, the Browns have practice squad dudes out there playing on the offensive line. They got it done. Why can't you? So, hey, Kevin Colbert, fix the offensive line. Spend money, draft somebody. I don't care. Fix it. And I truly believe that with Deontay Johnson, James Washington, Ebron, and Claypool, he has enough weapons to pass the ball to. And when you fix the offensive line, I truly do believe Anthony McFarland is going to be a quality running back in this league. And you could go draft another running back. So I think the Steelers offense can be fine as long as they fix the offensive line. As far as ranking the quarterbacks going into the season, I really want to see who they pick up in free agency and throughout the draft to say, like, all right, man, these guys are going to be plug and play on the offensive line. But since we not playing that game, I'll rank them like this. I'll go the former MVP and Lamar Jackson, number one. I'm going to go with the breakout star of last season, Baker Mayfield, at number two, the Hall of Famer Ben Roethlisberger at three, and the young buck Joey B coming in at fourth. And that's not a diss to Joey B. Like you said, he only played 10 games last year. He's coming off an injury, and he plays for the Bengals, for goodness sakes. So, he's got his work cut out for him. But I do believe Joe Burrow is going to be a great quarterback in this league. And everything that Baker showed last year, his ability to grow as a player and ability to say, you know what, I'm going to put my ego to the side. I'm not going to be out here passing the ball for 450 yards like Mahomes or like I did back at Oklahoma. I'm going to play the system, and the system is going to help not only me, it's going to help us win games and get us back to the playoffs, and not only get back to the playoffs, win a playoff game and compete with the Super Bowl champions. So you got to give Baker a ton of credit for that. And for me, I know you and I differ about Lamar, but I just think that if the Ravens are doing exactly what it seems like they're doing behind the scenes, I know what Harbaugh is talking like, oh, we're going to stick with the running game. Go see some of the hires that they made to their coaching staff. The former quarterback at Tennessee, T. Martin, the wide receiver coach. He's a big time wide receiver coach. And the guys that they're looking to draft Rashad Bateman from Minnesota. So they're looking to bolster up that wide receiver room to give their quarterback opportunities to throw the ball downfield and make plays in the passing game instead of having to run the ball. So I'll still go with the former MVP, Lamar number one, Baker two, Ben 3, Joey B 4.
All right, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Our list segment right there again, just with Big Ben coming back. I think it was a fair opportunity, a fair time to at least start discussing, okay, the AFC North is set at quarterback. We now know who the quarterbacks are going to be for the AFC North in 2021, and there's so much quarterback movement this offseason. We've already seen it. Carson Wentz to the Colts, Matthew Stafford to the Rams, Jared Goff in that trade with Matthew Stafford and the Lions, Jared Goff now with the Lions. From a lesser perspective, I mean, you have Dwayne Haskins now with the Steelers. Alex Smith was released today from Washington. They signed their quarterback, and I always forget his name. You remembered it last time, so you for Washington, you remembered it. You came in and said Heineke. There we go. Heineke came in and had one great performance against the Buccaneers for Washington in the first round of the playoffs in the wild card round. So I think Washington feels good there, but I do believe they got rid of Alex Smith for a reason. And it could be a Cam Newton reason. Like, I think they're going to add a quarterback. The bottom line is there's so many question marks at quarterback around the league. The AFC North is not one of them. But we listed with Big Ben coming back. Does that make him the worst quarterback in the AFC North? Or do you have him? I have him at number 2. I have Lamar Jackson, Big Ben, Baker Mayfield, and, of course, Joe Burrow at number 4. And Kevin, he has Lamar Jackson 1, Baker Mayfield 2, Big Ben 3, and Joe Burrow coming in at number 4. What about your list for you listeners out there? 457-9464. Rank the 4 quarterbacks in the AFC North with Big Ben officially coming back. Is he the worst in the conference or in the division? I don't believe he is. Either does Kevin, but do you? We'll take your list at 457-9464. Give us a call or head to Facebook. Search the Justin Kinner Show, like the page on Facebook, and you can watch the show live. You can see our ugly faces right now, and you'll be able to interact with us. List your top 4 quarterbacks, rank the top 4 quarterbacks in the AFC North from 1 to 4, and we'll read your responses on the other side. This is the Justin Kinner Show presented by Kirkland and Sommers. We still have a lot coming your way. The Dayton Flyers VCU have officially tipped off. We'll keep you updated on the scores from that matchup throughout the afternoon while you are hanging out with us live here on 1410 Wing AM. Obi Toppin, former Flyer, going to be participating in the NBA All-Star Dunk Contest this weekend. He was on Bart and Hahn on ESPN Radio earlier today. We will have that full interview coming up for you at the top of the hour at 4 o'clock. He talks about the run that was taken away from him and the Flyers last year. He talked about what it was like playing for Obi Toppin. He mentions Jalen Crutcher, talking about his preparation for the dunk contest coming up. A lot of really good stuff with Obi Toppin at 4 o'clock when he was on Bart and Hahn on ESPN Radio Dayton earlier today. But head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show. Rank the quarterbacks in the AFC North. Big Ben's coming back. Is he the worst in the division? We'll read your responses next. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
You ever lie awake at night, can't sleep, not wanting to see what time it is because that's just going to keep you up? Tonight, try ZzzQuil Pure Z's all night. Unlike other sleep aids, our extended release melatonin helps you fall asleep naturally and then slowly releases so you stay asleep longer through the night. It's non-habit forming with no next day grogginess. ZzzQuil Pure Z's all night so you can fall asleep and stay asleep. Available at retailers near you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to assist veterans during this COVID-19 pandemic. Even though we are not meeting face-to-face, we are here for you. We understand it is a difficult time with this virus threat and the strain of implementing social distancing. For those Montgomery County veterans who have lost their source of income due to their employers having to close or reduce their business hours due to the COVID-19 pandemic, you may be eligible for COVID-19 special financial relief assistance. Please contact the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday for more information or to have an application sent to you. You can also visit mcvsc.org. The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to help Montgomery County veterans during the COVID-19 crisis. Call 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday or visit them online at mcvsc.org.
Are you ready for tax season? Belmont Business Consultants and Tax Services is ready for you. If you want to come in person, it's a safe environment, or you can just drop off. Belmont Tax also provides a completely virtual, secure client portal. For business or personal, if you want the accurate deductions you deserve, contact Belmont Tax in Dayton and Eaton. Go to BelmontBCTXS.com. BelmontBCTXS.com.
Frickers is ready with Frickin' Madness. Frickers' new mobile app allows you to order online and score points for free food and loyalty visits. Frickers is ready for you to catch all the action of the March to the National Championship. Dine in and win with Frickers chicken wings, ice cold beer, and all of the games. Score big by downloading Frickers' new app and receive loyalty points, free food, and order online. Your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Spending more time at home? There has never been a better time to invest in your home. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. Can't watch your favorite basketball team in person? No problem. Audio Etc. can bring any game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc. today and experience 8K TVs and projectors. Surround sound? You haven't heard surround sound till you hear Dolby Atmos 360 degrees. It puts you smack dab in the middle with 11.2 channel surround sound. Audio Etc. has the brands, the deals, and the excitement. Audio Etc. powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon and Centerville. Or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom.
As the 2021 NCAA tournament moves forward in Indy this year, remember that Dayton is still home to America's most passionate basketball fans. Join us at the Big Hoopla in cheering on those exceptional college teams that begin their tournament experience by playing in the first 4 games this year. Dayton is the epicenter of college basketball, and the Big Hoopla team is planning already for the return of college basketball to Dayton in 2022. For more information, go to DaytonHoopla.com. Hashtag the road starts here.
Starting route. Your destination is 0.1 miles away.
If you drive
In
less than
500 feet, turn left. You have arrived at your destination.
if you drive less than 25 miles a day, you could be paying less every day with pay per mile car insurance from Allstate. You get the same reliable coverage and hands-on expertise you'd expect from Allstate, but now at a price that's tailored to the miles you drive.
Call your local Allstate agent and start paying what's right for you. Includes a daily rate. Prices vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Not applicable in California. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and its affiliates.
Switch to T-Mobile for Business and get up to 90 days of service free via virtual rebate on your business plan. You get a great deal, the largest 5G network, and first-class benefits like Microsoft 365 on us. It's better for business and only with T-Mobile for Business. Limited time offer. Stop in store for details. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Virtual Express MasterCard within 8 weeks of receipt of valid submission. Complete port within 60 days. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices, coverage, and plan details.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on the Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. A college football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Well, I said for the Dayton Flyers to have a chance against VCU, they were going to have two humongous games from maybe Watson and Jalen Crutcher. Well, when you have 7 turnovers in 7 minutes between the two, I don't think that's not a good start. Dayton Flyers at one point were down 11-1 to start the game. 5 minutes in, they now trail 21-8, and it looks like UD is their struggles at VCU are continuing. It's a good VCU team, but it's not a great VCU team. Like, this isn't like. I just don't understand. Like, the A-10 is not as good this year as what people were making it out to be. St. Louis was supposed, St. Louis, Dayton beat St. Bonaventure. They beat St. Louis. VCU's good, yes, but I mean, my goodness, this is a Dayton Flyers team that has really good talent on it. I mean, that's all I've been told is how. I mean, look at the recruits coming. You're getting guys from USC. You're getting guys from Nebraska. You're getting guys from Michigan. You have Jalen Crutcher, who apparently was so close to the NBA that had to wait months and months before the season before he finally announced he was coming back. That's how close to the league he was, apparently. And for you not to be able to win with any of those guys, it's unreal to me. This game is far from done. It's not done. But losing's one thing, but you can't lose like this. We talked earlier in the week. There's a lot of bad ways to lose. Right. Getting blown out is one way. Being up by 24 points with 6 minutes to go, that's another. There's a lot of bad ways to lose. Losing is not always the worst if you have it's a good fought battle to the very end. But down the way they were, I mean, how to come out with no energy and to come out flat like that, there's no excuse for it. Very frustrating, mainly because what I said earlier. If this is a bad team and they're getting walloped, it's one thing. But when you know that they have talent and you know that they have good guards and you know that they have capable players, you have the National Coach of the Year from a year ago, and you're going to lose to the same team 3 times. Not over yet, but my goodness, 21-11 now the score with about 10 minutes to go in the first half.
On the comeback trail.
Well, maybe. Not confident with the way they 23-11 now with the score. VCU up over the Dayton Flyers. How about this? I posted this earlier. And by the way, speaking of Dayton, we're going to have the Obi Toppin interview. Obi Toppin, I found out he has a butler, by the way.
A butler?
He has a chef. I'm sorry. Has a chef.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Jeffrey. My favorite Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode is when Hillary, who's the guy she was almost going to marry, and he jumped out of the plane.
Hillary.
And then everyone looks all shocked. Trevor. And then everyone looks all shocked. Uncle Phil, R.I.P. I love Uncle Phil. But then all of a sudden you just see Jeffrey in the background laughing. He's laughing. He is laughing. It is my favorite scene of all time in the show. I probably cry laughing every time. Trevor jumps out of the plane to basically display his love for Hillary. He's trying to propose on the way down, and then smack. You hear him. You see everyone's eyes all big. Everyone's shocked, and there's Jeffrey in the background laughing. It is the best scene in the entire show. That's a great one, though. I love the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince, one of those shows that everybody watches, and so many quotables. And also one of those shows I think everybody's seen every single episode. There's never been an episode to come on the Fresh Prince like, I don't remember this one. I remember them all.
Original Aunt Viv or new Aunt Viv?
OG Aunt Viv.
Did you watch that documentary?
Absolutely.
I had no clue that there was beef between the two.
Oh, yeah. Big beef.
They just casually moved on through. Like, it was
recast.
So you like the original Aunt Viv?
OG Aunt Viv. Love OG Aunt Viv.
Yeah, she had a little bit more attitude to her. I liked her too better. But Will's mom is my favorite. And she's in a lot of, and there's the other. It doesn't matter. This ain't the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The aunts.
Yeah.
They're all hilarious. But I hate that so many of those guys are like Uncle Phil. You can't do a remake of that show without Uncle Phil. You just can't. There's no way.
Sad.
But where was I? Oh, so he has a chef. We found out that Obi Toppin has a chef. In that, and I was like, oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty damn cool. I have to microwave my own food when I get home.
Well, when you're a superstar athlete like Obi, man, you want to make sure you're putting the right fuel in your body, and everything.
Or it's because you can afford it.
Yeah, that too. That's what I was.
I know. It's crazy hearing the athletes that spend millions of dollars a year just on their body, just between the supplements, between trainers, they take their trainers on vacation with them. Mm-hmm. Like that's, it's weird. I mean, the trainers aren't getting and hopping in on the family photos and, but they're on vacation with them because they always make time for them to be able to get their workouts in and do what they need to do. But I found that fascinating, but I don't think that's what this is. But no, he has a chef, but it was a cool interview. It was a good about 15 minutes long on Barton Hahn earlier today. Talks about the upcoming dunk contest Obi Toppin going to be one of 3 participants in the upcoming dunk contest this weekend. Cassius Stanley with the Pacers, and then Anfernee Simmons from the Trailblazers, and Obi Toppin with the Knicks. Now, Obi Toppin, we know Obi Toppin. No disrespect to Obi Toppin, but this lineup is bad. It's not good. Like Obi, we know Obi's going to make it good, but I mean, there's only 3 participants. Obi has a good shot of winning it because the field's not deep, and they're doing it at halftime of the All-Star game this weekend. And Obi, I don't know if he's the favorite or not. I'm not going to pretend to know much about Anfernee Simmons and Cassius.
Anfernee Simmons, I didn't even know that he could dunk until this year. Like he's a shooting guard, basically. He's Dame's backup. He's been getting a lot of more runs since they've been dealing with a lot of injuries for Portland Trailblazers. But I've seen him have a couple dunks, but like a dunk contest dunker, I don't think that Anfernee Simmons is that. I thought he would be more suited for the 3-point shootout because that's what he does, shoot threes. But Cassius, he from Duke and everything like that, looked like he got some bounce. But let's be clear, man, Obi should win this. I mean, just based off everything we've seen from his career at UD, Obi should win this. And I mean, I'm just mad that this isn't a regular dunk contest
with the fans and with the with the reaction. Like it's going to be awkward, right? Like everything else that we've seen.
And where's Zion, man? Zion Obi.
Like this whole idea. I mean, and for one, the NBA is running him like he's in the futures game. They're doing like a futures game, right?
I think it's just
it's like the world, or is it they're not just named to the roster?
Yeah, you're named to the roster. They're not playing again.
Okay, then he has no excuse then, because it's not like you're playing in that and the All-Star game, which we've seen guys do in the past. And it's not like you're playing in one damn game. Do the dunk contest. It's actually a shorter dunk contest. I don't even think there's 3 rounds. I think you only need 2 rounds of dunks on this. I think they're all 3 doing a dunk. They get, and then one's eliminated, and then it comes down to the next 2. So I just don't get it. And I feel like because he's not doing it this year, he's never going to do it. Because the further into your, like LeBron not doing, I mean, here's my dream dunk. Like if there was only 3 in a dunk contest for the NBA, my dream trio, obviously Zion, Obi Toppin, LeBron James. That's my dream trio right there. Just of interesting guys. LeBron, I don't know. I mean, I think Duke is still dunk with the best of them. I don't even think that his age is why he wouldn't be interesting. Levine's pretty dang interesting, but again, I've always said it. It's not what the dunk is, it's who's doing the dunk. I would rather watch, as I've said before, and you laugh every time, but I would rather watch LeBron James do a simple, boring, one-handed little simple layup than watch the guys who put the capes on, light themselves on fire, jump through a hula hoop with the dog on their head, and dunk the ball. I don't care about any of that. I don't care. It's All-Star weekend, not all-scrub weekend. And no offense to Obi Toppin, but you're averaging 10 points a game, but we know you could dunk, so that's why I'm glad he's in it. We as Dayton fans, but I promise you around the country, everyone is saying, who the hell's Obi Toppin? And that's not a slight at Obi Toppin. Like, for instance, the other 2 guys, Anfernee Simmons and the guy from Duke, their fan bases are excited to see them in the dunk contest because they know who they are. Just like the Flyers fans know who Obi is. No one knows who Obi is. The Knicks fans know he's on the roster, but they only see him for 10 minutes a night. Hell, Barton Hahn gave him more time than Coach Thibs does. I mean, on a nightly basis earlier today on the interview. So my point is that the All-Star game is supposed to be for All-Stars. I said the one way to fix it is that the All-Star game, no one outside that if you're not selected to the All-Star game, you're not participating in any of the events. Not the 3-point shooting I'd rather watch Shaquille O'Neal in the 3-point shooting contest than a non-All-Star 3-point shooter. That's why I'm telling you, it's the All-Star weekend. Why are you taking guys that no one's heard of and putting them in these events? It doesn't make any sense. It's All-Star weekend. That's all.
My dream dunk contest.
Guys that are buckle up for guys you've never heard of, folks. Here it is.
No,
YouTube sensations.
No, for guys that are still in the NBA, 2-time dunk champion Zach LaVine. He's definitely would be there. Obi would be in there. Zion would be in there, and also Derrick Jones Jr., last year's champion. I want to see dudes that can jump out the gym, and Derrick Jones Jr. and Zach LaVine jump out the gym, and then on the other side, you got your power dunkers like Obi and a Zion. So you get a combination of those both. That's would be my dream one of guys that are still in the NBA. I mean, LeBron can dunk. I mean, let's not get it twisted. But I think he's a game dunker. I don't think he's a dunk contest dunker. I think there's a big difference between game dunks and dunk contest dunks. Like a game dunk, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna pick LeBron if he's coming down the lane to yam on somebody. But like in a dunk contest, like I want to see Zach LaVine do that 360 from the free throw line again. I want to see Zach LaVine take the dunk from a step outside of the free throw line and touch his kneecap. Like those dunks are insane. Like those are things that we've never seen before. So that's what I want to see. Like I don't think LeBron is doing enough yoga to do those moves anymore.
Well, let me say it this way. And this goes back to prove my point about it doesn't matter what the dunk is, it's who's doing the dunk. For instance, LaVine's done the free throw dunk, right? Is there a legendary poster of him leaping from the free throw line? Is there a free throw? Is there a poster? Is there some famous image on social media?
Absolutely.
That no one cares about Zach LaVine, and the kid's averaging like 28 a game. I even gave him props. I said, okay, I was wrong on his ability because he's all-star.
First time all-star this year. Shout out to my boy Zach LaVine.
But the point, and by the way, now he's welcome to do the dunk contest. So my point is I don't care what the dunk is. I care who's doing the dunk. Like I said, LeBron doing a little finger roll layup is more entertaining to me than Zach LaVine years ago doing. So my point is Michael Jordan did the free throw extended dunk. People lost their minds. Why? Because it was Michael Jordan doing it. We saw Zach LaVine doing it. Yeah, you could pan the crowd and see someone probably like you going, oh my God, did you see it? But no one else lost their minds at home. That's why every year we say, the dunk contest is crap. It's crap. It's crap. The dunks are cool though. I will give you that. I know what you're saying. The dunks are amazing. Like the stuff that they come up with every year is really cool, but no one buys into it because it's not the dunk. It's who's doing it, which is why I think that even if the dunks weren't as flashy, if it's still Zion, LeBron, and stars, I still think that that's more entertaining because it's the superstars. That's why they were voted. I wish the fans could vote the dunk contest.
When Blake won the dunk contest, he was a superstar. His dunk contest was whack. It was boring. It was nothing there. There was no pizzazz. There was no.
I bet more people watched it. And you know what? ESPN and TNT and they care about.
I jumped over a Honda Civic.
Again, a superstar doing it's one thing. But if they're like, all right, up next, Justin Kinner, people boo just like when the show starts.
Now, you went out there and dunked.
That'd be something. 5'5" and 215 pounds of Kinner just trying to leap a car, I tell you. Oh, man. All right. To the Facebook feed. Again, we're live on Facebook. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash presented by Kirkland and Sommers. Ron Howard says, I know you can't dunk a basketball, but I know you can dunk a donut. Thank you, Ron. Always bringing that witty, whatever you call it, to the show. I mean, by the way, I'm down. Let's see. I'm down 15 pounds. In the last month. I've lost a lot of weight in the last month. So thanks a lot, Ron. The calorie counting does work. For those of you interested in trying to lose some weight, calorie counting and going to the gym every other week, it works. I'm telling you. All right. And thanks, Ron, for fat shaming. Thank you very much. No. Lamar Shelley says, mind you, Cassius Stanley has a great vertical, better than Zion, should be good. I think look, I'm tuning in because of Obi, because I know who Obi, we all know who Obi is, obviously. But if I lived in Idaho, or God, that sounds horrible. But if I lived in Idaho or somewhere else, and I didn't know who's Obi. He played at Dayton. I think he went Player of the Year last year. I'd be like, okay, cool. But because we know who he is, that's why I'm tuning in to watch. But I'm telling you, these three, that's not All-Star Weekend material. That's not All-Star Weekend material. That's no disrespect to them, but it's true. No offense to Obi, but he's averaging 10 minutes a game. Oh, 9 minutes a game. Speaking of Obi, great interview earlier today on Bart and Hahn. We have that coming up for you around the corner. Willie Hayden laughing his ass off, saying 5'5", 215 pounds. I'm what's called morbidly obese, my friends. Morbidly obese. Hour 2 of the Justin Kinner Show presented by Kirkland and Sommers. Next, Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. We'll have the updated score for the Dayton Flyers VCU game when we come back, and then we'll have that Obi Toppin interview from his interview earlier today on Bart and Hahn. That's coming up next, hour 2. Don't go anywhere.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
O'Reilly.
Trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car, like 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard filter, just $26.99. Extend the life of your vehicle and improve performance with a synthetic oil change. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsommers.com. That's Sommers with an O, kirklandandsommers.com.
Roosters would like to thank all of our loyal guests and all the loyal Buckeye fans for your support this year. Because of you, we've been able to stay open and keep our award-winning team employed. Our team members go above and beyond and are dedicated to providing you and your family the safest dining experience possible while still providing a fun, casual atmosphere to relax, laugh, and enjoy our award-winning food. Roosters, the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Trade up any non-contact thermometer for a $5 rebate toward an Exergen purchased at any retailer. Accuracy matters when taking temperature. Upgrade to Exergen. Visit Exergen.com.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's live, it's local, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash, and we are coming at you live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station. It is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area, with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. The Dayton Flyers in action right now, in A10 action, quarterfinal tournament action, I should say. They are trailing by 11 to the VCU Rams. It's 31-20 with 3:28 to go in the first half. Not a good outing right now for Ebby Watson, who had 25 points yesterday to help pace the Flyers for their win over Rhode Island to punch their ticket to the quarterfinal round, taking on VCU today. But he has 1 point. He's 0 for 3 from the floor and a turnover or two, and he's not having a game like he did yesterday, that is for sure. Jalen Crutcher kind of helping carry the scoring load. He leads all scorers for the Flyers with 8 first half points. He's 3 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 3 from behind the 3-point line. But outside of that, really no help at all. Kobe Brea has 3. RJ Blakeney with 4. You have Shamunga with 2 points and 4 rebounds, and he's 1 of 1 from the floor. I just don't get how a guy that big just cannot score around the bucket. They have to, it's not as if they're just guard. They are guard oriented, but I don't get how you get a guy that big from Nebraska out of the Big Ten and he just can't do anything in the in the A10.
Gotta dunk that, dog. Gotta have that beast to dunk it. Just go up and try to dunk it.
But to me, it's the fact that he's 1 for 1 from the floor. it's the fact that he's only had one shot attempt, and that's just because he doesn't have good skill set around the basket. I mean, he's improved his footwork over the years a little, but I mean, he hasn't gotten better since he's gotten here. Like, guys haven't gotten better. I mean, outside of the development of Obi and you look at what you look at what Crutcher's been able to do, no one else has really gotten better and taken that step forward. That's been the biggest setback for this Flyers team this year, and something to keep an eye on moving forward. Guys need to continue to get better and develop, and I don't feel like that's happening this year. They trail 31-20 here at the 3:28 mark in the first half. But no, the NBA dunk contest coming up this weekend, as we've talked about. Obi Toppin. This is the one more time. Here is the dunk contest contestants and participants for the 2021 NBA dunk contest. Anthony Simmons. Who? Cassius Stanley. Who? Obi Toppin.
You're a Duke fan.
Anyone? Most people, everything I've seen today, no one knows who the hell he is. So you have Anthony Simmons, Cassius Stanley, two who's, and then outside of the 937 area, Obi Toppin is all saying who as well. No disrespect to Obi. I think everyone can agree that, I mean, we got to get our Flyers caps off and just look at it as it is. No one outside of this area is looking at Obi saying he's carrying the weight in this dunk contest. He's most likely going to win this dunk contest. Some in the chat section are saying look out for Anthony Simmons, and that Cassius Stanley can jump out of the gym as well. Look, all three of these guys are capable of dunking. That's why they're in this dunk contest to begin with. But I am curious, like, how do they pick who's in this? I mean, it sounds like they just took anybody because the stars wouldn't do it.
Well, it's been like that for a minute now where, like the big time guys haven't been in the dunk contest. I'm trying to think the last time like a real big name that was also an all-star participated in a dunk contest. I'm trying to think maybe
Dwight Howard,
Blake
Griffin.
Yeah.
And that was by the way, that wasn't just a few years. That was a long time ago. Like, it was a long time ago.
And that's why they call it the Rising Stars Dunk Contest. Like that is.
Oh, that's what they do now.
They've been calling it the Rising.
Yeah,
Stars
that's. Oh man, I didn't realize that's what they call it. The Rising Star. They call it it's the Rising Stars Dunk Contest. Mm-hmm. Because the Stars don't want to do the dunk contest. They get rid of the damn dunk contest. Will anyone be sad if they get rid of the dunk contest?
I will be.
I watched the Powerade at the end of the college season. I watched that, and that's entertaining as hell. Because there's no expectation. I mean, but to be honest, they're the big names out of college. That's why it's entertaining. Imagine if college just took a bunch of random no names and threw them out there and told you to watch it. No one would watch. No one would watch. I'm just saying. We're just going to agree to disagree.
That's why I didn't say nothing.
I wish you would. You're just afraid because Kendall gets his blood pressure up. He starts screaming and yelling. I'm just saying. But
what's your favorite dunk contest of all time? How about that?
Man, I'm trying to think of the last one that I actually watched. I'm going to have to look.
Oh, you don't even watch?
Huh?
You don't even watch it?
For Cassius Stanley. And Anthony Simmons. Obi Toppin's getting me to watch. This will be the first one that I actually physically sit down and force myself to watch because I'm interested in it. I haven't been interested in years. But Zach LaVine, he could dunk. Good for him. He's almost 7 foot. I would hope he could dunk.
What? Zach LaVine's like 6'5".
Oh, see, I don't know because I didn't watch him. Because I don't know. No one cares.
6'5".
No one cares about Zach LaVine outside of Kev Nash here.
Man. Dude's incredible, man. Incredible. I say the best dunk contest I've ever seen was hard to believe this is 20 years ago, but the Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Stevie franchise dunk contest. I think that was my favorite one of all time.
See, stars. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. I mean, Tracy
McGrady wasn't a star then. This is back when he was still with the Raptors being the ninth man. He didn't even play.
But 457-9464, if you want to jump in on the conversation before we get to this interview with Obi that he had on Barton Hahn earlier today, we'll be glad to put you on the air, 457-9464. You can also leave your dunk contest opinions in the chat section here. I mean, is the dunk contest a thing to you? Do you guys care about the dunk contest? I feel like we should. I don't know what they could do to spice it up a bit. These NBA players today, they love off nights. If you win the dunk contest, you get 10 off nights. Maybe maybe the LeBron will jump to the front of the line to do that. Maybe then Zion will do it too. Who knows? I guarantee you Kawhi Leonard would be all for it. There you go. Lamar Shelley says, did you feel cheated when Daquan won the 3-point contest? Nobody knew who he was. Lamar, I'm telling you, we didn't feel cheated. No offense to Daquan. I love Daquan. All right. But how many people around the NBA truly knew who Daquan Cook was outside of us and Buckeye fans in the 937? And I did not feel cheated. I enjoyed watching Daquan Cook win it because it's Daquan Cook. Of course I love Daquan Cook. But if I didn't live in the area and I didn't follow the Buckeyes or watch the Buckeyes, I would have been like, I don't know who that is, with all due respect to him. And I think those guys are aware of that. I don't think that anyone's going to take offense to that, except Kev, who's very offended. So there's that. But, it is what it is at this point. But, but the Tracy McGrady, we talk about Vince Carter in the dunk contest and Tracy McGrady and Stevie Franchise and those guys. I mean, at least there was Vince Carter there to kind of carry the weight where that goes. But 457-9464, Kev, who we got?
We got Brad.
Brad, welcome in, sir.
How's it going? What's your beef with the dunk contest? That's the most entertaining part about the weekend.
I just don't care I don't really get into it because of who's never in it.
It's always been the young stars. That's when they get their shot to make names for themselves, man.
Yeah, Jordan wasn't in it when he was winning 6 championships.
But Michael Jordan was a star right off the bat.
Yeah, and again, Obi, when you call him a no-name, I bet people in Iowa remember who he is.
Look, you're not wrong there because, it was funny how Iowa fans seem to be big-time Dayton aficionados. They could tell you who they played, when they played them, every stat he had. They knew more about Obi and the Flyers than their own team last year. That's how much they were paying attention. I tell you that much.
The dunk contest is part I like to have a few beers that I get excited about, man. That's the best part of the weekend.
See, you want
a little kid.
Brad, you know what I enjoy? I love the three-point contest more than the dunk contest.
I like that, too. And they were doing that skills competition there for a little bit, too. I don't know if they still do that. That was pretty cool to watch, too.
This year.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
So you know why I like the 3-point contest? Because there's actual stars in the 3-point contest. Like I feel like
not always.
I feel not the whole field, but there's at least 1 or 2 every year that you at least pay attention to.
Hey, COVID this year, you can only have 3, man.
There you go. Hey, Brad, thanks so much, man. Appreciate the call.
Have a wonderful day, guys.
You too. Yeah, my beef one more time with the dunk contest is I don't care what the dunk is. I care who's doing it. I will watch LeBron do a finger roll before I watch a bunch of no-names jump through hula hoops and leap cars and jump off skyscrapers and all that stuff. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. And Obi Toppin is the only reason I'm watching the dunk contest this coming up weekend, as far as that goes. All right, 457-9464 Facebook. We are live, so head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show. But I'm pulling for Obi this weekend. I think Obi's going to win this dunk contest, and I think it's going to be big for Obi mainly because yes, he's going to win it. He's going to get a lot of eyes on him. He's going to get a lot of exposure this weekend. But because, and I said this when he was drafted by New York, people didn't want him to get drafted to the Knicks because the Knicks have been such a dumpster fire of an organization in the NBA for a while. But I said, if it may not be good for Obi Toppin to go to New York, but for the Dayton Flyers, it's awesome that he's going to New York because he is going to get so much, the Flyers are going to get so much pub from him being in New York. More so than if he went to Utah or somewhere else, right? Like that's why I said right off the bat, him going to New York was such a big deal because every interview that he's going to be in is going to in New York where millions of people tune in and listen to shows around there. They're going to be asking him about UD from time to time. And that's what happened today on Bart and Hahn when he sat down with them earlier today to preview the dunk contest, to talk about the Knicks' early going success here as they're in the playoff conversation for the first time in a long time. And then, of course, they went into, last year, how devastating it was to not get a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. He talks about the relationship that he has with Jalen Crutcher, who's right now in a dogfight with VCU. But a very good interview, Obi Toppin, earlier today on ESPN Radio's Bart and Hahn. Check it out.
So Obi Toppin from the Knicks joins us right now via the Goodyear Hotline. Obi, appreciate some time here, man.
By the nickname? Can you go by the nickname now? Now that he's going to the All-Star game, can we call him just by Obi-Wan? Meets Han Solo. Meets Han Solo. You know what I'm saying? I'll step back because it's more about your Jedi's talking.
But this is the problem, and this is the problem with the pandemic. Obi is we have never met.
Yes, sir.
Like we've talked. I think we interviewed you the night of the draft on MSG, but I mean, usually by now you'd be annoyed by me because I'd be bothering you like every day, and we haven't had that chance yet. So unfortunately not. But I'm glad that you're here on the show. What I gotta ask you out of the gate, fellow New Yorker to fellow New Yorker, is you've talked about how your family. There are a lot of Knick fans in the family. I believe you said it was your uncle, your grandfather, right? Diehard Knick fan. Like season ticket holder?
Yeah, oh yeah, my grandfather on my mom's side went to every Knicks game.
So they know more than the average person just how much 19 and 18 at the break means. All around the league, they're laughing at Knicks fans like, really? Teams one game over 500, you guys want to hang a banner? But probably your grandfather probably knows better than anybody to tell you, like, no, son, you understand something. What you guys are doing is damn special this year.
Was Pops in the street celebrating the other day? Was Pops in the street celebrating the other day? Was he leading the parade?
He was jumping up and down. He was going crazy.
Does that make you laugh though when you see the video of fans outside the Garden after you guys got to 500 celebrating like you had like literally won the championship?
Yeah, I seen videos of them running right in front of the MSG, going crazy. I think someone tagged me in it, and I seen it on Twitter. So it was amazing seeing that. So.
Is it something you guys talk about at all? I know Julius said in his Players Tribune essay that he says to you guys, like, can you imagine if we get this thing popping? Like, can you imagine? Like, do you guys, because sometimes you hear players and they're like, yeah, we don't pay attention to that stuff. But for you guys, is this part of things that you talk about in the locker room?
I feel like we mostly focus on like winning games and getting better every single day. At the same time, it's like, we put on a show for the fans every day, and I feel like with the guys we have here, we love to win, and we have a competitive spirit, and going into every game knowing that it's been a while since the Knicks been to the playoffs, and seeing the fans happy of our success so far is an amazing feeling. So
well, one New York athlete to the next. Listen, this city is nothing like playing in this city when you're winning, right? So, like, have you had your welcome to New York as a famous basketball player moment yet? Since the pandemic is out, so it's not a lot of people out in the streets, not a lot of events to go to. But man, you got to be walking around, and I know people have to recognize you, man. What's the love like out there when people running up to you, man, and giving you your roses?
I mean, with COVID and everything happening, I don't really go outside a lot, and we spend a lot of time in the gym. So if I'm not in the gym, I'm usually home with my family, just hanging out, watching TV shows for every time that we get, because usually we're on the road for, say, about 3, 4, even a week. Like, we'll be on the road for a week, and we don't get to see our family a lot. So when we're home, I have a chef, so he'll cook at the house, so I don't have to leave to go anywhere to eat. And basically, like, I'll just stay at the house, or I'm in the gym working on my game. So
that's smart, because when this is over, we're past all this, and you try to just go somewhere like to the mall or something, and you hear crazy. Yo, Obi Toppin, what's poppin'? Hey, how about them? Like, you're gonna deal with that, and of course you'll welcome it, but you're probably used to it again. You're from here, you understand what's going on.
For sure.
So I'm wearing a T-shirt that some of you guys were wearing the other day, and it said, "I'm not happy unless I'm miserable." And that's a quote from your coach, Tom Thibodeau.
From Coach. Yeah, from Coach. Yeah, I seen the first time I seen that quickly, he came to the game with that shirt on. And he was like, look at my shirt, and I just started laughing.
Does that depict him the best? And what's it like to play for a guy like him? And a third question, you can answer all three of them. The last one is this. Do you hear "Ome" in your sleep? Because I hear it all the time during the broadcast.
I know you guys hear it on the TV. But Coach is a great coach. And one thing I learned was when I was in college is, if a coach isn't saying anything to you, that's when it's a problem. So you always want a coach to stay in your ear every second of the day, because the more he's staying in your ear, the more you getting better. And I feel like with the experience that he has and the coaching that he does, it's helping me every step of the way, and I appreciate him every day for that.
Well, watching the game, we can tell that he loves you. Because he loves you a whole lot. But
he does compliment you though a lot. He compliments both you and Quickly a ton. There's no doubt about that.
Come up this weekend, man. I know you got the dunk contest, but you also have an opportunity. I know it's not the typical All-Star weekend, but you have an opportunity to be around some of your peers, some of the people that you looked up to. What are you most looking forward to outside of the dunk contest, as far as being around all the great players and seeing if you can pick their brains?
Yeah. Honestly, just getting far in the playoffs with these guys, like with Jules playing the amazing year that he's having this year. Like he's doing a tremendous job at what he does best, and he's not only helping the team, but he's helping me get better, because we play the same position, and he's teaching me the ropes every single day. So just seeing the success of the team and the family bond that we're bringing to the team is an amazing feeling. And I feel like we're getting better every single day because we have that bond. And the players even say, like, not a lot of guys hang out the way we do here. And so, like, I feel like that's what's helping us on the court every single day. And I feel like we're going to be a very dangerous team in the playoffs. So
that has been a common theme about this group. It's Barton Hahn. We're talking about Obi Toppin of the Knicks. It's something that you hear a lot, and it's this phrase that I know Coach has mentioned, Tibbs has mentioned, and others has mentioned.
Yes,
we had quickly on our show before the season, and remember, Bart, I called him a gym rat. I said, "You're a gym rat, aren't you?" And he right away he was like, "Yes, I am." And that's something that Julius has talked about. You're mentioning it here as well. It's just a group of guys that would rather be in the gym and just you can't get enough of it. You mentioned that you play the same position as Julius. When you were drafted, you show up. Was it awkward at all? Because it seems like you're the guy that even if somebody didn't want you around, you're still going to you are in his ear during timeouts, right? During practice. He's even talked about how we sit down together, we do all this stuff. Was that you going to him? Was that him going to you? How has that worked? And
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, Jules been in the league a lot longer than me, so he knows a lot more than me. So when I first stepped foot in this facility, I just felt like he automatically latched on to me and told me I'm gonna be a big brother. I'm gonna teach you the ropes. Wow. And just listen to what I got for you basically every day. So he's a very competitive guy and he pushes me every single day to get better. Not only himself, but the whole team and the coaches, like everybody in this organization. And it's not only me, it's me quickly. And even some of the other veteran guys, like everybody has opportunities to learn and get better every single day. But when I first stepped foot here, Jules knew right away that he was going to help me every step of the way to get better. And me and him going back and forth, like we compete every day so that we can get better. So.
I mean, I was fortunate enough to play with Ray Lewis, and I was that same guy too. Like, man, shut up, Bart. I'm trying to do something right now, you know? But it's all good, man. What you do is you just try and do what he does.
Bart, tell him also how somebody grabbed you by the shoulder, like, who the hell are you?
Yeah. Warren Sapp. The most embarrassing moment was like when I was coming on the field. I was always fighting on special teams. I was going out for kickoff, and Warren Sapp, grabbed me by the back of my shoulder, turned me around, like, who the hell are you? And I'm like, I'm gonna show you who I am. You little fat man. You ain't say nothing to me, man. You get those levels of disrespect. But man, I wanted to transition and talk about the dunk contest, man, because you got some big shoes to fill, man. You got Crypto Nate sitting up there that won 3 in a row in the Knicks uniform. You know what I mean? Skinny Skywalker, man. So what you got planned for us, and man, how long or how much time have you dedicated to kind of figuring out what type of dunks you're going to do and trying to figure out, how you're going to kind of set them up? Like, because you can't go too hard, too fast, right? Because you don't want to use good stuff.
Yeah, not at all. Like, it's crazy because I was a couple minutes late because I swear to God, I'm in a practice facility right now, practicing my dunks as we speak. So I'm literally sitting right here in the gym. So I'm on it right now. I'm not going to tell you the dunks I'm going to do, but the dunks that I'm doing probably hasn't been done yet in the dunk contest. So I'm getting these dunks down and practicing it. So when the time comes, I can get those dunks on my first try.
So you're so you understand anybody that's the spawn of someone called Dunker's Delight. Like you've got a lot of pressure on you right now. You understand that? What you're bringing to Atlanta is a little bit of Rucker. Like you've got, what you're bringing with you. So my question is simple: Julius Randle's going to be there, and you obviously he's like a mentor to you. A lot of times we see teammates, like, oh, I need you to help me. I need you to be part of the dunks. I know you have to tell us what dunks, but A, is he going to be part of anything? And B, how about Dad? Is Dad going to be part of anything?
You
don't want to say. Okay.
Stay tuned. All I can say, stay tuned. You gotta watch.
All right, I like that. I like that.
Yes, sir.
What's the format? Did they give you the breakdown? Because it's at halftime, so it's not the typical All-Star Saturday where the dunk contest kind of lasts a bit. Everybody gets a lot of dunks.
Right.
Is this what's the format that they give?
So basically, all I know right now is it's three dunkers, me, Anthony Simmons, and Cassius.
Right.
And I believe it starts off with 3 dunks. And after that, I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure about the rules. But I know that we get 3 dunks and there's 3 players. It's usually more than 3 players, I believe. I don't know the exact number, but is definitely more than 3 players, and it's not going to be as long as it usually is.
Right. So with that in mind, the 3 dunks have to be like Bart said. He normally said, "You don't want to get your best out of the bag." You probably have to, right?
Right. You definitely gotta come with some stuff in all 3. So, yes, sir.
And you won't tell us. I love it. You stay tuned.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I like that.
Because what if I say it now and then I don't first, and then one of the other dunkers come out and do that dunk? I'm gonna be like, I shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, plagiarism. Do your dunks have names? Do you got names for them though? You know what I mean? So then we can make sure so now the kids around can try and imitate it, because now you named them, and now they have a birth.
I'll say the names after the dunks. I can't say it now, because if I say it now, y'all kind of know what the dunks are.
Okay. Like 5'7",
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's Bart and Hahn. We're talking with Obi Toppin of the Knicks in the Slam Dunk Contest halftime of Sunday's All-Star Game. You can hear all the coverage right here at ESPN Radio. All right, so what was I going to say? Well, first and foremost, when you win, come on with us Monday, and then you can tell us the name of all the dunks. How about we work it out like that, right? When you win,
I got you. Yeah,
Monday.
For
All
sure.
Right, let's do it that way. Because you teased us, you got to pay it all.
I'll tell you guys the dunks.
I love it. That's perfect.
Yes,
While
sir.
I have you, though,
sir.
Are you tonight? Will you be tuned into a little Dayton VCU?
Of course, they play at 3:30. I right before I started dunking, I had Jalen on the phone with me, and he said he's gonna do something special today. So we gotta watch him and support him always. So
do you have this kind of part of you as you're watching, as March Madness now will begin or is underway, A-10 tournaments going on now, and a lot of the tournaments through this weekend and into next week. Is there a part of you that I think feels like that was taken away? Like, I never had that chance. I mean, you were still player of the year, but to take Dayton to the dance and to do what maybe you could have done at that stage, you still ended up a top 10 pick. You still ended up a lottery pick. But is there a part of you that's like, man, like I did not get that chance?
Yeah, it was definitely upsetting, but what not only myself but the team done for the organization, and not only the organization but the city too. Like, the city went through 2 tragedies that year with the tornado and the mass shooting that happened in Dayton. I feel like we put the city on our back and did something special that Dayton's never done. We had what was it? College game day came to the city of Dayton for the first time ever. And it was just an amazing year, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So,
yeah, but so it's something that you watch now from afar, but obviously still rooting for them and hoping to see great things for that program. And you were a big part of really getting that program and taking it to another level. No doubt about that. All right, so the agreement's in place. You win the dunk contest on Sunday. Monday, back on the show, name the dunks, and we'll celebrate.
Yes, sir, for sure.
I love it. All right, love it. And then whenever the hell they let me back in the building, we'll get a chance to meet for a chance, and then 2 New York guys can hook up, and then you get the Obi-Wan and Han Solo thing.
Can't wait.
Out of the way.
Charge
him. He said, can't wait.
No, he get it for free, man. I like this kid, man. He called me sir. He made me feel old. I just turned 40, but I feel old now, but it's all good.
Obi, we appreciate you, man. Best of luck. We will be watching.
Sir. Yes, I appreciate you guys for having me.
No doubt, man.
All right,
much success, man. I'll see you in the streets. We're running to each other in one of these clubs or something.
Yeah. Well, we don't want, no, he's in the gym.
I'm talking about after the season, Alan. Dang.
He's in the gym. He's not a club and hot tub guy. He's in the gym. He's gym rat. He admitted it. That was great. That was Obi Toppin giving us a Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. No contract.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be clear and sunny, a high near 45. Tonight's going to be mostly clear, a low around 24. And tomorrow's going to be clear and sunny, a high near 45. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Frickers is ready with Frickin' Madness. Frickers' new mobile app allows you to order online and score points for free food and loyalty visits. Frickers is ready for you to catch all the action of the March to the National Championship. Dine in and win with Frickers chicken wings, ice cold beer, and all of the games. Score big by downloading Frickers' new app and receive loyalty points, free food, and order online. Your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Save big money in your next project with 11% off everything at Menards. Give your walls a new look with Smart Coat from Zinsser. It's an advanced paint and primer in one with ultra smooth coverage, superior adhesion, and exceptional washability. Interior flat paint on sale now, plus 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through March 6th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Man, how can you afford gas for that big SUV? I pay less for gas than everyone else. I got the free Get Upside Gas app and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas.
Hold on. You're getting up to 25 cents off a gallon with the free Get Upside Gas app while I'm paying full price?
You know it. People earned over $1 million last year. You just got to take a picture of your gas receipt and bam, up to 25 cents a gallon cash back.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm downloading the free Get Upside Gas app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code CAR for a 50-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 75 cents a gallon on your next tank. Just download the free Get Upside app at the App Store or Google Play and use promo code CAR. Save money on gas on every fill-up. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code CAR. That's C-A-R. Visit getupside.com for terms.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Spending more time at home? There has never been a better time to invest in your home. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. Can't watch your favorite basketball team in person? No problem. Audio Etc. can bring any game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc. today and experience 8K TVs and projectors. Surround sound? You haven't heard surround sound till you hear Dolby Atmos 360 degrees. It puts you smack dab in the middle with 11.2 channel surround sound. Audio Etc. has the brands, the deals, and the excitement. Audio Etc. powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon and Centerville, or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom.
The Big Hoopla is a volunteer organization that holds events for our Dayton region surrounding the NCAA Men's First Four basketball tournament held in UD Arena since the inception of the games in 2001. While we have lent the first four games to Indy this year, they will be back in Dayton for next year and through 2026. Dayton is the epicenter of college basketball. Join us in cheering on those exceptional college teams playing in this year's First Four. The Big Hoopla is planning already for the return of college basketball to Dayton in 2022. #The road starts here.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Smoothbrook, Illinois.
Switch to T-Mobile for Business and get up to 90 days of service free via virtual rebate on your business plan. You get a great deal, the largest 5G network, and first-class benefits like Microsoft 365 on us. It's better for business and only with T-Mobile for Business. Limited time offer. Stop in store for details. plus taxes and fees for some plans. Virtual Express MasterCard within 8 weeks of receipt of valid submission. Complete port within 60 days. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices, coverage, and plan details.
Remember, customize and save with Liberty Mutual Insurance Company. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kenner for Justin Kenner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
The Dayton Flyers trail VCU. Right now, we're in the second half. It's 40-30. The VCU Rams over the Dayton Flyers. They trailed by 11 at the half, and right now still trailing by 10 with 16:23 to go. It has not been a good night. Ibby Watson, good afternoon, I should say. Ibby Watson has 3 points. Rodney Chapman has 5, and Jalen Crutcher with 8. All of a sudden, by the way, I was talking about Chimunga. He was 1 for 1 in the first half. He didn't really provide anything. He's all of a sudden 3 for 5 with 7 points. So he's on a surge right now. So there you go. Someone must have said, hey, Kenner was talking smack. You need to go shut him up. And that's how he does it right there. I don't care who scores. Someone needs to score.
Yeah.
My thing is this, like, you have Ibby Watson, you have Chapman, you have Crutcher. That's all. I mean, that's all everyone does is brag about these guys. And you get the transfer from USC and Weaver. And I was just told that these guys were just going to knock it out of the park this year. Your guards aren't scoring. Like, it's one thing if you're losing because you're not getting, production from your post players, but when your guards aren't scoring and that's supposed to be who you are, that's the identity of who you are, that's the problem. And Chapman, he can't stop anything. He's supposed to be their lockdown, shutdown defender. I mean, everyone brags about how he shut down Anthony Edwards last year in the Maui Invitational. Well, he's been on Highland all afternoon. He had 20-plus points in the first half. I'm just saying, like, if that's your best defender, you need to find someone to do a better job on him. 40-30, 16:07 to go in the ballgame. We'll keep you updated on the stats or on the score throughout the rest of the show. It's the Justin Kenner Show presented by Kirkland and Sommers. So real quick, again, as we close out this discussion on the NBA dunk contest, by the way, it is not the Rising Star All-Star Game. I could not find that anywhere. It's not in any of the branding. It's not on the website or nothing. I was like, that didn't sound right. I know there's the Rising Stars, the game of the rookies against the second-year players, but not the dunk contest. But to your point, it is when you look at a lot of the Hall of Famers who have participated in the dunk contest, it usually is in the first couple years of the league. And they're new to the league. They're excited to get to the league. But even then, you still know who a lot of those guys are right when they come in. I mean, you're getting role players in the dunk contest versus the actual stars. I mean, I went back, I started looking, okay, who are the dunk contest? Can you name the last 5 dunk contest winners?
Last 5. Last year was Derrick Jones Jr.
Who?
He was with the Miami Heat last year. Now he's with the Portland Trail Blazers.
I think he's with the Bulls, right?
No, he was with the Suns first. Then he was with the Heat. Now he's with Portland.
Oh, it was in Chicago. So the team.
Oh, you talking about the actual dunk contest?
My bad. So it has their team next to them, and then next to it has another city. But that was the city that the All-Star Game was held in. So that's where I got confused. It was in Chicago last year.
So the year before that, I want to say it was the kid from Kentucky that played for OKC. The year before that was Donovan Mitchell. I know that for sure. Then the year before that, I want to say it was Glenn Robinson's son. Glenn
Robinson the third. Yeah. So okay. So Kevin's a nerd. Kevin, you screwed all this stuff.
And then the year before that,
I promise you.
The year before that, Zach LaVine went back to back.
But like, you're a diehard. I'm a diehard NBA fan too, but I'm not like I'm gonna die to watch these guys. And Donovan Mitchell, man, he's I'm a big Donovan Mitchell fan. Like, but Derrick Jones Jr., Hamidou Diallo, whatever. Glenn Robinson the third. He got paid well, right? Was it him that got paid by the Knicks? No, it was Anthony. It was Greg Anthony's son that got paid. No, who got paid that was like a legacy player just a few years ago. The Knicks gave him an obscene amount of money.
Really?
I thought it was Glenn Robinson, but
no, Glenn Robinson didn't get paid. I know he's with the Pacers when he won, went to Michigan and everything like that. But yeah, I don't think he got a big contract.
But Zach LaVine won it back-to-back years. John Wall, Terrence Ross, Jeremy Evans. I mean, Blake Griffin, Nate Robinson won it back-to-back years. There's Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard participated last year too.
Yes.
So I did watch
it last year.
I thought it was last year.
It might have been. Yes, it was because that was after Kobe. Yes.
And Nate Robinson's won it like 3 times. You asked me about. I remember my favorite non-star to win it. Jason Richardson when he was with the. I mean, I was a big. I remember the Warriors when they had those guys like before they were this Warriors team too. But
the
Jason
We Believe
Richardson,
Warriors.
Yeah, when you had Baron Davis
dunked on Andre Karolinko. That We Believe
There's a name
Warriors.
For the past,
yeah,
Utah Jazz right there, man.
Remember he had the pass with his wife.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He's a legend just because of that.
How about shout out to Brent Barry? How about Brent Barry winning the dunk contest back in 1996? Good for him. Good for Harold Miner. Yeah, his name was brought up as well. But then when you get back, if you get all the way back to the 90s or like the late 80s, I mean, we're talking Larry Nance, which he kind of fits the mold of the guys. I mean, Larry Nance was a very good player. I mean, his kid's obviously decent too, very good role player as well, but his dad was better. Dominique Wilkins, superstar. Spud Webb, a very popular player, just put it that way. I mean, mainly because he was a draw because of his height. He was me, just way more athletic and could play. Michael Jordan, back-to-back years. Dominique Wilkins. And then it just kind of goes downhill from there. So it's not as if I'm blaming the current players for ruining the All-Star game.
It's always been like that.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if that's how it is. I'm just telling you, I think it's crap. If it's supposed to be about the All-Star weekend, I just don't get it. And I'm the same way with the home run. Like, keep in mind, this isn't like a basketball thing for me. And I'm like this with baseball. When we get to the baseball All-Star game, I'll be complaining then too. You have guys in the home run derby that aren't All-Stars. I don't care. If you're not an All-Star, you should not be in the home run derby.
So how many superstars have won the 3-point contest then?
I'll have to go back and pull that up. I don't have that in front of me.
I'm pretty sure that, Larry Bird's won, Dirk's won 1 or 2. Steph's been in it. I believe he's won
Klay
like
Thompson's
2.
Been in it too, yeah.
Klay. But for the most part, it is guys like, Daquan and James Jones and, specialty guys. I mean, I know
these are big. You got Buddy Hield. All right, you got Devin Booker, you got Eric Gordon, you got Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, you got Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Paul Pierce. Shout out Daquan Cook, baby. Shout out to Jason Capono. How about that name? One of LeBron's old former teammates that they were trying to keep him in Cleveland with. How about that?
Yeah, he's a superstar.
By the way, no, he's not.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
look at all the stars I just named.
But I think that's the transition of the league, that the superstars are the 3-point shooters now in a different era.
These are the
NBA.
2008s and 10s. This isn't like recent trend.
I'm saying, like, in the transition of the game, like, 3-point shooting has been cool. Like in the 90s and everything like that, you were a specialty player that shot threes, like a Craig Hodges, like a Steve Kerr. Like, that's what they brought you in to do, to strictly shoot threes and everything like that. I just think that, it's, and also the thing about the dunk contest, like you said, they're not trying to grab my attention. They know I'm gonna watch. The young kids love this stuff. And you and I, if we have another option on a Saturday night, we'll do it. But the kids, they're locked in watching the dunk contest and watching the 3-point shootout. Like, I could go without watching it, but I love it, so I do watch it. But I could go without it. But the people that watch it constantly, and the only reason that these events are happening, they're not happening because of people our age. They're happening because of the people younger than us that are watching NBA nonstop, and not only watching it nonstop, they're watching it on their phones. They're retweeting it. That's why the whole thing is happening. This ain't because of us.
For 6 straight years, the 3-point contest has had higher ratings than the dunk contest. Kinner wins.
How is that even rated? Just because, like,
it's on the, they're on the same night, so I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
How that would be. But this is from this article right here, CBS Sports and Bleacher Report, Sportsnet. But again, it's just kind of breaking down the rankings for the last 6 years. Again, to be fair, 3-point contest earlier in the night, NBA dunk contest later in the night. You're probably losing viewers as the night goes on, and again, people don't feel like trying to figure out who the hell these guys are. That's all my point is. I mean, but when you got the 3-point contest, man, I'm telling you, you got actually stars in the 3-point. That's what I want. When I tune into an All-Star weekend, I want to watch All-Stars. I don't want to have to be Googling every contestant that pops up there. That's all I'm trying to say. And
you know what they call you? A hype beast. That's what they call you.
No, it's called a guy that wants a good product, and I don't think that the product.
I think the product is good based off of what you accomplish and what you do on the actual court.
When the panelists on the judge committee or whatever, when the judges on the committee are bigger stars than the people dunking, that's a problem.
So if LeBron goes out there and bricks a bunch of dunks, you can be like, "Oh man, that was awesome." Or what? Versus
the ratings will
say
yes.
Yeah, ratings versus accomplishment. I want the accomplishment.
How is the league accomplishing having a no name win the dunk contest? The league's accomplished. They're reaching their accomplishment by getting people to watch. But again, it is just an all-star weekend. It's not due. But by the way, they're putting this on during a pandemic for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, they're even with no fans, which I still don't get the point.
I know people that are headed to Atlanta right now.
You can't watch it though.
I know. That's the NBA.
Damn lemon pepper chicken wings. That's where they're. You have a better chance of catching COVID there than you do at the damn arena. Aye. All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. We'll step away for a few moments. How about this? Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless were almost reunited, and it would have felt so good. I mean, we talk about contract negotiations, ongoing contract negotiations for athletes between, bidding wars between teams. But how about Skip Bayless being heavily sought after by Fox Sports and ESPN, bidding war at the level of which I mean, the money that Skip Bayless came away with, he almost came back to ESPN. We'll talk about that next, the amount of money that he made. I mean, holy smokes, good for him. We'll be back in a moment. More of the Justin Kinner Show presented by Kirkland and Sommers when we come back.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
If you drive a car, truck, SUV, or vehicle of any kind, you need Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. That's right. With the free Get Upside gas app, you can get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time you buy gas. Nearly 3 million people have earned cash back with Get Upside just for buying gas.
I always use Get Upside. Some months I make $200 to $300.
I love getting money back for things I use every day. It's just free money for buying gas.
There's no catch. It's simple. And you get your cash back right away.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code OIL for a 50-cent per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 75 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Earn cash back on gas on every fill up. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code OIL for a 50-cent per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL.
There's nothing better than a fresh-made home-style meal, but not everyone loves the hassle of cooking. At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, home-style happens here with our famous 12-piece family meal at a great price. This famous family meal includes 12 mixed pieces of Lee's fresh, never-frozen chicken that is honey-dipped, hand-breaded, and cooked to perfection, plus 3 large sides and 6 fluffy biscuits. Get a home-style meal made easy today with Lee's 12-piece family meal at a great price. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsommers.com. That's Sommers with an O, kirklandandsommers.com.
We'll be hosting walk-in interviews every day from 7:30 a.m. through 3 p.m. Please bring a resume and photo ID to apply or see other career opportunities at kth.net. KTH is an equal opportunity employer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Man, how can you afford gas for that big SUV? I pay less for gas than everyone else. I got the free Get Upside Gas app and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas. Hold on. You're getting up to 25 cents off a gallon with the free Get Upside Gas app while I'm paying full price? You know it. People earned over $1 million last year. You just got to take a picture of your gas receipt and bam, up to 25 cents a gallon cash back. You don't have to tell me twice. I'm downloading the free Get Upside Gas app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code CAR for a 50-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 75 cents a gallon on your next tank. Just download the free Get Upside app at the App Store or Google Play and use promo code CAR. Save money on gas on every fill-up. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code CAR. That's CAR. Visit getupside.com for terms.
Trade up any non-contact thermometer for a $5 rebate toward an Exergen purchased at any retailer. Accuracy matters when taking temperature. Upgrade to Exergen. Visit Exergen.com.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
So you want to talk about outliers? Those guys are out. You're lucky that this thing's separating us. That's all I got to say. Or facts, though. I got your facts right here.
Listen, stream, and now watch. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook to follow along. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. See, when Kev and I get in these heated debates, during these commercial breaks, all you hear is the keys just to slapping because we're both just trying to find something to prove the other one wrong, and that's all that happens right here. So, no, the Dayton Flyers down big, 49-33 with 11:47 to go in the second half. The game looks like it's not going to end in the favor of the Flyers. But as a game I witnessed earlier this week, I can't remember who it was. It was some game that the team was up by 24 points with 6 minutes, and somehow they lost. So never say never. I learned that this week. But right now, the problem is like there are teams, Kev, who can start out bad and they know how to like kind of get better as the game goes on and get back into it. I will say this about UD. How they start the game is who they are. They usually don't. And what I mean is, I guess that's usually when they start. If they start slow, they end slow. They don't have games where they start slow and then kind of pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
They've had games where they start out hot and then slow down, but they don't start slow and then pick it up. That's the problem. That's why I don't have confidence in UD's ability to be able to come back. I would like them to, don't get me wrong. But again, Ibby Watson goes out for 25 yesterday, has 3 points right now with under 10 minutes to go. Jalen Crutcher, supposed to be a guy that was NBA talent, where has 8 points right now. The Stars aren't coming up big in the biggest game of the year. And the reason this is the biggest game of the year is because it's win or go home.
Right.
51-33 now as we currently sit here. Like, I was just harsh on the team I follow earlier in the week, so I'm not beating up on it. I'm just being honest. 51-36 with 11 minutes to go. So that's all I'm trying to say is, like, this is unacceptable. Like, you have to have your stars play better, and that's not what's happening. As I say that, Jalen Crutcher hits a 3. See, I just need to be critical. When I'm critical, when I was Chimanga, by the way, before that, he was leading all the Flyers in scoring before I said that about Crutcher. So I think I need to be critical. When I'm critical, I look up and boom, they hit shots. That's what needs to happen. Believe it or not, Flyer fans, I'm your ace in the hole. You're probably calling me an a-hole is basically what's going on right now. All right, we'll step away for a few moments. We don't have time to get into that Skip Bayless story. I'll open up with it at the top of the hour. Skip Bayless got paid. He almost returned to ESPN. Him and Stephen A. Smith would have reunited, and I would have been a big fan of that. But we have an update on that. Also, Todd McShay's NFL mock draft was officially released. We'll get into that. I want to see where Justin Fields ends up. I actually haven't even taken a look at his mock draft yet. I like to look at it fresh with Kevin live on the air, and we kind of dissect it with everybody else. We'll open up the phone lines at 457-9464. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Frickers is ready with Frickin' Madness. Frickers' new mobile app allows you to order online and score points for free food and loyalty visits. Frickers is ready for you to catch all the action of the March to the National Championship. Dine in and win with Frickers chicken wings, ice cold beer, and all of the games. Score big by downloading Frickers' new app and receive loyalty points, free food, and order online. Your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
The Big Hoopla is grateful for our many regional sponsors and is happy to announce the Big Hoopla Scholarship Program this year, supporting active duty military families and their students in grades K through 12, including Blue and Gold Star families, and applying for one of 10 $1,000 scholarships to be used towards their students' educational needs this year. Visit DaytonHoopla.com for more information and to apply. Dayton is the epicenter of college basketball, and we look forward to the First Four's return in 2022. Hashtag the road starts here.
You ever lie awake at night, can't sleep, not wanting to see what time it is because that's just going to keep you up? Tonight, try ZzzQuil Pure Z's all night. Unlike other sleep aids, our extended release melatonin helps you fall asleep naturally and then slowly releases so you stay asleep longer through the night. It's non-habit forming with no next day grogginess. ZzzQuil Pure Z's all night, so you can fall asleep and stay asleep. Available at retailers near you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S. all free.
With the radio.com app.
Remember, customize and save with Liberty Mutual Insurance Company. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's live, it's local, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
Hour number 3, we are off and rolling here on a Friday. How are all of you feeling today? I know I'm excited for the weekend. Warm weather. Again, warm weather. It's 40 degrees, but it's still a lot warmer than what we've been accustomed to over the last month and a half, 2 months. I'll definitely take it. Again, it's just starting to feel, I'm hoping to get out on the golf course this weekend. In fact, while we're all sitting here together, let me, for those of you who might think about getting on the golf course, let's find out if the weather's going to cooperate.
It will.
I don't mind golfing in the cold, by the way. Like, my definition of cold is in the 40s. Like, I could, like this today, I should be out on the golf course right now. Tomorrow I'm going to be, again, this is your weather report brought to you by nobody. Tomorrow's a high at 43 with a low at 24, mostly sunny. Sunday, all sunshine, 42, and a low at 27. Sunny as well. Then it's Monday, of course. Damn weekday, it's going to be 50-freaking-9. Why can't it be 59 on Sunday? Why? I just don't understand. But no,
you see Tuesday.
How about next week though, man? On Monday it's 59, Tuesday 62, Wednesday 61, Thursday 63. I might have a case of Rona next week. I might need to be off for a week or two. I might need to be in isolation out on a golf course somewhere by myself, away from people. I'm telling you right now, that is some beautiful weather coming.
We earned it.
Absolutely. We have Red Spring Training action coming up later on tonight, 8 o'clock. 8:05 officially will be the first pitch. More Red Spring Training action again. I know a lot of people out there complained about spring training. People complained about the difference in the rules. They only play 7 innings, and they're doing this thing where you can pull up, you can just call an inning, basically like a mercy rule in an inning if a pitcher goes over 20 pitches. Look, spring training is exhibition play. I mean, that would be like going to the spring game and then bitching because they don't tackle. And people do that. I go to the spring game knowing then I'm going to watch a pillow fight. But I am just going to the spring game because, well, after the college football season ends, it's just a depressing, dreary 2 months of cold and snow and negative temperatures and, heat bills through the roof like that. So it's nice to just get out and go sit at the shoe for a couple of hours and take in just whatever is a football game, whatever you consider. But I don't get why people complain about spring training baseball. It's just it's a way to gradually kind of walk into the season. I like it because after the first couple of weeks, though, I'm over it, and I'm not as into it. But then it's like I'm really ready for the real thing. But we're getting closer and closer to the real thing. April 1st, opening day, Reds Cardinals, 4:00. Cuts our show off early. We get to go home early. It's a great day. Reds opening day, April 1st. I'm telling you,
man. I just miss that fans can't go to the games, man. I just remember all the times that people would just casually leave work early to go down to Cincinnati or, go over to B-Dubs and watch the game and everything like that. And, sometimes even, our bosses was opening day, go ahead, leave early. Like, I miss that type of stuff, man, but won't be happening this year.
Yeah, I had this habit of always being sick on the first Thursday of March Madness every year.
Oh, man.
Like that day, just something about, I don't know if it's the changing of the weather. I don't know what it is. I always just happen to be sick on that day. And I think I'm feeling a little bit of the sniffles, way ahead of time. And it's not COVID. It's just the sniffles. That's all. But, I'm just throwing that out there. But nonetheless, how about this story? ESPN tried desperately to get Skip Bayless to return to ESPN. I don't know about you, but the whole reason that I got into sports media to begin with, and this is my favorite thing, Skip Bayless is trash. Stephen A. Smith, screaming A. Smith, man, he's garbage. What's ESPN doing with that? Those are probably they are the two biggest sports media personalities out there. All right, there are really good sports media. I mean, Gus Johnson, but he's a broadcast. I'm talking about personalities. Sports talk, sports, debate, sport, TV, radio, it doesn't matter. Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, in my opinion, are the two biggest names in sports media. There are guys who are really talented. They're good writers. They're good radio hosts. They're good, good play-by-play broadcasters, good color analysts, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about personalities. The two biggest personalities, the most polarizing figures in all of sports media are Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. And it is no damn wonder that ESPN went balls to the wall to try to get Skip Bayless to come back. So for me, I fell in love with sports media and got into the business because when I was younger growing up, First Take was my favorite show. First Take was my absolute favorite show. I loved First Take. And, Stephen A. Smith was a reoccurring character at the beginning, and then he became part of it. Then he left for a while, and then I continued watching because of Skip Bayless, but it wasn't the same. Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith are magic together, Kev. Like those two together, it doesn't get any better than those two together. And I still watch Undisputed in the morning with, I watch Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. I think Shannon Sharp does a fantastic job too. I'm a big fan of Shannon Sharp, but Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, the two biggest personalities in the business, they both carry their own shows respectively, but I think together it's even bigger and better. And ESPN knew that. Skip Bayless, when he left, signed for a $24 million deal for a 5-year deal back in 2016 when he initially left First Take and ESPN to take the Undisputed job at, when Fox really kind of turned to be the true competition of ESPN when it came to this, the sports TV shows. They were able to pluck Colin Cowherd. They were able to get Chris Broussard, which, by the way, you can act like that's not a big deal. Chris Broussard was the man. Chris Broussard, actually, anytime when I would do fill-in work, he would be the first call I would make. He would come on almost every damn time. He was actually very familiar with the area. The Cleveland Cavaliers used to do their preseason. They would always have preseason games or practices at the Nutter Center, which I didn't know that. But when Chris Broussard was working, I think it was for the Cleveland Plain Dealer, he was covering the Cavs. So he would always come to Dayton. He was very familiar with the Dayton area, and he was always covering games for the Nutter Center. So we always talked about that. In fact, he actually spoke at the Wright State Raiders tip-off banquet a few years ago, and he had broke the news at that banquet, not really to everyone there, but told select few people that, hey, I'm actually going to be leaving ESPN to go join Fox at that time. And that's really, Fox just went balls to the wall going at ESPN and just kind of going show for show with them. Jason Whitlock, another guy, you don't have to like Jason Whitlock, but man, he knows how to get his name out there. And he left Fox Sports, and I don't really know what the hell he's doing anymore. So he should have just stayed at Fox. He's doing something with Fox, I thought.
I thought he was with Levitard's podcast network. I could be
But
wrong.
he originally left for something else.
Yeah.
But either way, so I'm going down. I'm just going on this long little soliloquy here. But the bottom line is I'm a big, like, Skip Bayless drives me nuts with the things that he says. But man, I could just watch him do a show all day. Stephen A. Smith is the same thing because they literally just they suck you into the show. And what people don't understand with these two is this. When they say something that makes you mad or say something that whatever, and you actually take the time to tweet at them and you take the time to get mad, they win.
Mm-hmm.
They win. When you tweet about their show, they win. When you tune in to hate watch them, they win. Well, when you go onto Facebook to tell everyone that they're garbage, they win. When you're talking about them, when you're getting people, you're just advertising them. You're promoting them. That's all you're doing. Like, that's the thing I learned about this business a long time. You don't have to be liked. You just have to be known. And that's what these two are very, very good at. And they're really good at their jobs too, by the way. Like, you're not making, that's the other thing. When people try to say how garbage they are, I'm like, you got to understand something. ESPN and Fox, they're not just giving away $30 million to anybody. If they're as bad as what you say, they're not getting $30 million. I promise you. Skip Bayless just signed a $32 million for a 4-year extension with Fox Sports. So he's going to continue doing the show with Shannon Sharp, Undisputed, and then he's going to get his own solo show in the afternoon at some point. I'm not sure when. I just read the article quickly. But ESPN was about to do something that they don't do. They were willing to allow Skip Bayless to continue working the morning show, Undisputed with Shannon Sharp, and then also be on ESPN in the afternoon with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is doing Stephen A.'s World right now on ESPN Plus. That's what they wanted Skip Bayless to come over and do, basically like a First Take style show with Stephen A. Smith on ESPN Plus only. They weren't going to kick off Max Kellerman at First Take. But I found that very interesting. Like, ESPN was desperate to get him back. And I just laugh because every time people say Skip Bayless, Stephen A., they're the two worst, they're the two best. And every time you try to say that they're the worst, you're proving why they're the best, because you don't feel passionately about anyone else at ESPN. Who else at ESPN do you just wake up and just say, oh God, I can't stand them? At Fox, oh, I can't stand them. These two are it, Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, and they found a way to do it and make a lot of money doing it. Stephen A. Smith is fantastic. Like, he really is. He's worked hard. So is Skip Bayless. I just don't get why. I get why people hate him, but to try to discredit what they do, I'll just never understand that.
They've done something that not many people can do. They've been able to monetize their mouths. And, these guys used to be reporters, so this isn't just like, people that have a podcast, and no disrespect to anybody that has a podcast. I have a podcast. You can't make this up podcast, which you can download on iTunes, by the way.
You just make that up.
No.
You can't.
You
it's
can't
the
make
rules.
It up. Life, you can't make it up. But, when newspapers started to, quote unquote, fade away and everything like that, these networks went to these guys that were connected. And, Skip Bayless connected to the Dallas Cowboys, connected to the Chicago Bulls. He used to write for those newspapers and everything like that. Stephen A. connected with Philadelphia and everything like that. So these guys are connected. And not only they are connected from reporting days, but now they have opinions. And now you bring their opinions to TV and you turn those lights and cameras on. So they're not just up there spewing stats and like, oh, so-and-so shoots 25% from the free throw line, he sucks. Like, they're not giving that. They're giving their opinion. And
Skip loves to bring up LeBron's free throw percentage, which is ridiculous. He's the worst.
So they bring their personalities and they move the needle. They move the needle. When they say something, people have a reaction. And something that we both know in media is you don't want to be indecisive. You want to be one way or the other, to have people have a reaction. You don't want people just to be like, oh yeah, that's Kenner and Kev, they're on the air. You want to be like, oh, Kenner and Kev on the air, what are they going to argue about today? And I think something that's good about our show, this is natural that we just don't get along about half the things we talk about.
Yeah, but I went too far a few weeks ago. If you've noticed, I've been on my best behavior since then. I thought we had Jay Williams on. I told, like, when we had Jay Williams on, former Duke Blue Devil, I remember because, like, I was watching Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin one morning, and, like, me and you have got into it on the show twice. I know there's 2 times where afterwards I'm like, yeah, I screwed up. I acted like an idiot right there. But I didn't tell you that. I made up for it the next day by just being super mellow about every topic we did. But I remember those two. Like, I could tell that Jay Will was just fuming and that Keyshawn was just ticking him off. So, like, when we talked to him that day, I brought that up and he started laughing because he knew what I was talking about. I said, "Oh yeah, there's certain days I have to worry if Kevin and I are even going to be friends after a certain show because I know that I'm in my mood that day and I like to really push the needle a little bit." But that's what those guys do. And you know who I credit the most? Like, the real MVPs of those shows are the Max Kellermans and the Shannon Sharps, because they put up with it.
Yeah.
And you have to have thick skin doing that. Like when Max Keller, like when Stephen A, like there's times where I get uncomfortable. I'm like, man, I think those two's relationship, they know each other well enough that he knows it's not disrespect. But when I hear Stephen A. Smith say, I regret the day I signed with the ESPN when they told me I had to work with you because you literally know nothing. And I remember, like, holy crap, like I say some weird stuff to you, but I would never say that. Like, holy hell. But like, it's amazing seeing how those two go at each other at all. And like Skip Bayless saying, Shannon, you may have been good at sports, but talking about sports is just not your game. I feel sorry for you. And Shannon just pops up in his chair looking at him like, I'm about to get these hands. Like, I was like, oh man, but I love that. I think that's very interesting, seeing the dynamics of those shows.
Oh man, those shows are awesome, man. The thing about it is about Shannon Sharp, a guy that played the game of football and everything like that, and his ability to watch other sports and translate his opinions to other people and generate a reaction. And the thing about Shannon, he's genuine. Like, he's not, for lack of a better word, code switching when he's on TV. Like, it's kind of like Shannon Sharp on TV is the same Shannon Sharp that we got when he was playing in the NFL, a trash talker. Like, he trash talks to Skip, and he makes his own memes.
Skip.
Yeah, like he uses all that to his advantage and bringing his personality, and that's really what it's all about. I was a big fan of PTI with Will Bond and Kornheiser and everything like that. But slowly but surely, like I still watch a ton of sports and Sports Center and everything like that. I just don't watch it as much as I used to. I really just watch more games than I used to, but I jump in and jump out. But those shows, like they spark something in you, and that's the point of it. When they're debating issues, they debate it, and then what do? They take the small clip and bring it to Twitter and start the reaction on Twitter. So they're serving a purpose. And if ESPN was willing to cough up $30-something million, you best believe if they're going to be paying him $30-something million, they were going to get a return on that investment by not only hurting their competition in Fox, but also bigging up their brand and bringing in more advertisers. I mean, they were willing to give them that type of money in the middle of a pandemic. So it's obvious that he moves the needle, and it's obvious that Skip Bayless does his job very well, and his job is to get eyeballs on that television screen.
Yep, and that's why, and they gave him like a $3 million raise because he's going to be getting an extra show coming up in the afternoon and on Fox Sports. But no, Stephen A makes $8 million a year, and so does our guy Skip Bayless. So there's that. It's the Justin Kinner Show.
Goals.
Exactly, right? It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. 457-9464. Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless. Who are your favorite national sports personalities? And if you don't like them, why don't you like them? What is it about Stephen A. that you don't like? And by the way, I think there's there are people who just naturally, like, there's certain broadcasters that I don't care for, like personalities. The broadcasters, when I say broadcasters, I mean like play-by-play, but personalities to me are like the First Take shows and Undisputed in those shows. By the way, the next big star that I think that ESPN has, Marcus Spears, is amazing. Like, I absolutely love Marcus Spears, who I was a big fan of before he left. Will Kane was excellent, and he rubbed people the wrong way because of his political affiliation. I get that. And he went to Fox, and I met him in New York a year ago at this time, actually. Very fun dude, like very fun off the air, but like very smart, he's a lawyer, of course. Yeah. He's hanging out with some boob and me from Dayton, but I thought he was really good too, because he had the way of being able to position points and he was go at Stephen A. He didn't back down from that. There's certain guys that back down from that. I really liked him when he was there. But Swagoo, he's pretty good too. And then Perkins.
Mm-hmm. I like Big Park.
He just they always make fun of him because he just looks angry every time. Every time he comes on, Max Kellerman's like, well, he must have woke up on that same side of the bed again. But he goes, I'm going to address you like the numbers on the house. That's what he says every damn time. It's the funniest thing. All right, we'll step away for this. Is a Friday free for all. We're just all over the place. Hey, guess what? Uh-oh. Hey, Dayton Flyers. Hey, you know what? I was bad mouthing him, and guess what? I'm telling you, I'm your guy. Flyers fans, I'm the biggest ace in the hole for you guys. You guys need to understand that. My hate is actually working as motivation. I'm why the Dayton Flyers are coming back in this ballgame right now. You're welcome. Your fan mail can be sent to 717 East David Road. You can send it right there.
What about Jalen Crutcher? He has nothing to do with it.
He's going. Jalen Crutcher now has 16 points. You're welcome, Flyers fans. It just took Kenner going off on the Flyers to get them to finally play some. They just scored again. I'll have the score update for you when we come back. Hey, Dayton Flyers! Look at that. The Flyers are coming back. The Rams are giving up a big lead in the second half. Haven't we seen that this week before? My goodness. We'll be back in a moment. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be clear and sunny, a high near 45. Tonight's going to be mostly clear, a low around 24. And tomorrow is going to be clear and sunny, a high near 45. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you have standing water, a wet basement, or water in your heat ducts? Hi, this is Jeff Heil from Buckeye Landscaping and Ohio Irrigation and Drainage. At Ohio Irrigation, we have a solution to end your drainage problems. We provide a free custom design and estimate to meet the needs of your home and keep you worry-free when it rains. Call Buckeye Landscaping, Ohio Irrigation, 432-9911, or visit our website, buckeyeandohio.com. That's 432-9911. Stop worrying. Call for a free estimate today.
I'm Terry Krupp of Laird's Tax and Accounting. We are excited to announce we are open and here to help with your tax preparation needs. We offer multiple options, both convenient and safe. You can drop off your tax return, upload it to our secure website, or call for an appointment. We have 5 locations in the Miami Valley and 1 in Columbus to serve you. No matter the situation, we're confident we can do the job right. Visit lairdstax.com or call 937-325-6571. Laird's Tax and Accounting, here for you to ensure continued confidence in your tax return.
As the 2021 NCAA tournament moves forward in Indy this year, remember that Dayton is still home to America's most passionate basketball fans. Join us at the Big Hoopla in cheering on those exceptional college teams that begin their tournament experience by playing in the first 4 games this year. Dayton is the epicenter of college basketball, and the Big Hoopla team is planning already for the return of college basketball to Dayton in 2022. For more information, go to DaytonHoopla.com. # The road starts here.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Frickers is ready with Frickin' Madness. Frickers' new mobile app allows you to order online and score points for free food and loyalty visits. Frickers is ready for you to catch all the action of the march to the national championship. Dine in and win with Frickers chicken wings, ice cold beer, and all of the games. Score big by downloading Fricker's new app and receive loyalty points, free food, and order online. Your home for fun food, sports, and spirits, Fricker's.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsommers.com. That's Sommers with an O, kirklandandsommers.com.
Simplicity Health Direct Primary Care is now open and accepting a very limited number of new patients in Centerville and surrounding areas. Why Simplicity Health? Fewer patients means higher quality care and an unprecedented amount of time with the doctor where your visit will never feel rushed. Whether you have the best insurance or no insurance at all, Simplicity Health has plenty to offer you. Simplicity Health also offers in-house pharmacy and lab services, serving as a one-stop shop for your health care at a fraction of retail costs. To learn more, visit simplicityhealthdpc.com.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
The Reds are on the radio. Every hit, every strikeout, every Reds victory. You can catch all of the action all season long right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, and we are back. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. 69, nice to 61. The VCU Rams over the Dayton Flyers right now. Under 2 minutes to go. 147 here in the contest. Jalen Crutcher, 17 points to lead the Flyers in scoring. Jordy Chimunga, 10 points, 10 rebounds. I literally, at halftime, I said, how do you have a post player with only 1 for 1? And he's 1 for 1 on the night. And he's a big dude. And I think he's not a very polished big man at all, especially for a senior. But what I got frustrated with is that's a big dude to not be at least attempting to get more looks around the bucket. Now, I know they're a guard-oriented team. But from that point on, the magic of Justin Kinner all of a sudden worked, and the big guy has a double-double. All of a sudden, he's playing like a post player, double figures and scored 10 points, double-double. Look at that. That's going to be how he most likely ends his career with the Flyers because now they're down 10. When I was getting all excited earlier, they were down 6. I'm like, here we go. But it's 71-61 now, minute 41 to go. Debbie Watson hits a 3. So he has 9 points on the night now. Chapman with 6, and Chimunga with 10, and Blakeney with 6 as well. But Amzil with 3 points, Nowicki with 4, and then Kobe Brea with 6. And it's 71-61 with a minute 41 to go. But here's the deal, and I think Flyers fans, hear me out on this. When they were down almost 20, don't you just wish they would have just continued losing by 20? Because you could have stomached the loss earlier. That's because there's 2 kinds of reactions when you lose, Kev. There is actual heartbreak, and there's that pain in your stomach. And it's a real pain. When your team loses, it is a pain. It's an actual pain and gut-wrenching feeling. But when you lose a blowout game, it's just anger, and you're pissed off, and you just want to go have a beer, maybe 2 beers, maybe 3 beers, a little shot, more beers. All right, but with this, what the Flyers are doing now, they're just screwing with you, UD fans. Now they're trying to cut it to within a few possessions to make you feel like they have a shot when they don't. And then when they lose, you're going to be all hurt. But if when just a little bit ago they were down 18, that would have been a really good time to just say, screw it, on to next year. But then they bring, just when you think you're out, they bring you back in. And that's what the Flyers are doing right now. 71-63, minute 29 to go. This could be it, Kev. If they don't come back, basketball in the Miami Valley is done before it even starts. Like, the Miami Valley college basketball scene is just done.
Yeah.
if they lose, because I keep seeing people today, they're going to the NIT. Folks, stop being delusional. This is not an NIT team. They're not. Not
in a regular year.
In a regular, absolutely. To be frank, yes, on a regular year. I think some have not realized that the NIT has shrunk to only 16 teams in a bubbled field over in Texas, which I don't think you can call it a bubble in Texas when everything's open.
Wide open.
So,
starting on Wednesday.
But 71-63, 129 to go. It's a timeout on the floor. But no, it's just one of those where here in the next 90 seconds, I mean, Miami college basketball in the Miami Valley could be done. And had two teams at the beginning of the season that I thought we were going to be following deep into the postseason through conference tournament runs. And Selection Sunday was going to be fun, whether it was watching a Selection Sunday bid for the NCAA tournament or later that night tuning in to figure out, okay, what about the NIT selection show? I think that's the next night. But none of that matters now. Wright State's season is done. Top 60 team in the net, top 60 team in the Ken Palm, and their season's just done. Flyers, they beat some of the best teams on their schedule this year, but the losses are what's keeping them out of the conversation. That's the thing. That's what sucks is if you would have beaten St. Joe's and beaten LaSalle or Fordham, just if you win two of those three, and I've always said this, you're allowed a bad loss on a year. Every team's allowed a bad loss. Like every team's going to have an off night. You play, on a normal year, you're playing 30 plus games in the regular season. You are going to lose a game you should not. All right. Last year was the outlier year when you go 28-2 or whatever it was and undefeated in A-10 play. Going undefeated in the conference is not easy. It's not easy to do in even the worst conferences in college basketball. So that was an impressive feat last year what the Flyers did. But what the Flyers did last year, that's not normal. That's why last year was so special. It's difficult. You could be forgiven for a bad loss, but you can't be forgiven for three bad losses, Kev. Like that's the problem with what the Flyers experienced this year. But they're going to be kicking themselves looking back at those losses because, yes, this loss right here is most likely going to be what ends their season, but those losses are honestly what ended their season because usually losing in the conference tournament, Flyers fans are used to that. They never have success. No, they don't. And they'll tell you they never have success in the conference tournament, but there's always the Selection Sunday or there's the NIT coming up next that they can kind of tip their cap to. This is different because it's win or go home, and these guys are going home. Maybe Watson, Chapman, Chimunga, Crutcher. I mean, hopefully these guys, they have the option to come back, but do the coaches?
That's right.
Do the coaches, though, want these guys to come back? That's the question.
Oh, I believe that the coaches will want to come back when you have senior guards that have them for an extra year. I believe the coaches will want them back, but I don't.
Even if there's behind the scenes issues that we are all not privy to. Even if that there's a little bit of a clickiness between some of these guys that has led to a rift in the locker room, even if that's what has led to the inconsistent play, because the reason that these players haven't got better from the beginning of the season is because maybe this team is not as coachable as what they were a year ago.
Senior guards, they make big plays, man, and having them back again for another year, I believe Coach AG will welcome them with open arms. But with that said, I don't think either guy will be coming back. I think they're going to go ahead and take their talents to the pros. And yes, there's other leagues called the pros that isn't the NBA. There's overseas leagues where people can make a ton of money. Obviously, if you're not playing in the NBA and you're just really trying to compete and make some money, China is the place that you want to be.
China.
Oh, goodness.
China.
Oh.
So, yeah, man. I mean, and by the way, I will say, from what I know, this is what makes Obi Toppin even so much more likable. It's because he was the alpha last year. He was the player of the year last year. And he was the nicest dude you'll ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
He gave everyone time. He never snubbed anybody. He was liked by the worst player on the team all the way up to the second best player on the team because he was the best player on the team. You know what I mean? His greatness never created a rift in that locker room. When he succeeded, everyone around him succeeded. And when the worst player on the team succeeded, he's the first one off his feet on the bench cheering for him. That's what made Obi Toppin so damn special. Because Obi Toppin had every reason, Kev, to put his chest out. He's a big fish in a little pond in Dayton, Ohio. Mm-hmm. He had every reason to be the biggest jerk in the world, and he wasn't. That is the one thing I will always remember about Obi Toppin. It wasn't the between the legs, which, by the way, all this stuff I'm mentioning is like top of the line stuff. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't the between the legs dunks. It wasn't the energy that he brought to UD Arena. It wasn't how he could literally just one simple little dunk could just totally change the momentum swing of a game. It was the fact that when there was a genuineness to him that every person loved him. He didn't have any enemies. Everyone loved Obi Toppin, and he loved everyone else back. He treated media with respect. He treated every teammate with respect. Did you hear that damn interview earlier? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And by the way, you don't have to say yes, sir to people, but he respects everybody. You know, he's Obi freaking Toppin going on a radio show, and usually athletes look down on radio hosts anyways, and he's sitting there saying, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's being respectful. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he doesn't think he's bigger than anybody else. That's what made Obi so great. And last year, when the team had chemistry better than anybody else in the country, in my opinion, that's where they succeeded. There are certain individuals who are really good that do think that they're better than everybody else, that do think that they're above everybody else, that do believe they don't need to be told how to do some certain things in practice, that do believe that they shouldn't even be given the time of day to the lesser scrubs on the team. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, you know, the thing about Obi, you know, they got this phrase, he got it out the mud. You got to think about it, man. He wasn't like a 4-star recruit. You know, he went to prep school after high school, then showed up on UD's campus and had your red shirt, then played, and then blew up. You know, this is work that he put in. So being humble for him is easy because he's been humbled by the game of basketball. And now, you know, he takes that humility and goes to the pros. I would expect nothing less from him to remain humble and remain hungry. You know, I know a lot of people are like, man, he's only getting 10 minutes a game. He's not doing this. He's not doing that in the pros. Well, judging from everything that we know about Obi Toppin, he's going to work his butt off to make sure he's the best player he could possibly be. And I think the addition of D Rose to the Knicks is only going to help him. You know, they're coming off the bench, and, you know, in Derrick Rose's first game, they had a connection on bounce passes. We're seeing him, you know, finish at the rim, something that we always knew he could do. You know, he's just stuck behind an all-star in Julius Randle, a guy Julius Randle who could always play the game of basketball and score the ball. But now Julius Randle is doing it at such an efficient rate that you can't be like, hey, man, Look, Julius, I know we're in the playoffs, and I know you're the main reason why we're in the playoffs right now. But go ahead, sit on the bench. We're going to cut your minutes by 15 and give them to the young rookie. Like, that just doesn't happen, and that's not going to happen. So what Obi is going to have to do is continue to work on his game like he's always done and work his way into the rotation, work his way into a different role with the team. You know, if it's just going to have to be that energy guy, be that energy guy. But I have every belief that Obi Toppin will make his way in this league and be a good player in this league for a long time.
Oh yeah, because I mean, you got to think. I mean, he's averaging 5-6 points a game, but he's doing it in 10 minutes. And you look like he shoots a very high field goal percentage. Like, he's efficient when he's out there. He's pulling down a couple rebounds. You know, at the beginning of the season, I'm not going to take credit for this because I assumed that this would be the stat line on a regular amount of playing time, like let's say 20 to 25.
Yeah.
And he's doing almost what I said he was going to do in only 10 minutes of time. So I would have to think, you know, more time. But again, even if you doubled Obi's time, he's not better than Julius Randle. Right. He's not expected to be. But real quick, you know, and by the way, the Dayton Flyers season is officially over. 73-68, the final, VCU over UD. The VCU Rams advanced to the A-10 semifinals again, so the Flyers will not be playing on their home floor in the A-10 championship game. And Jalen Crutcher's career with the Dayton Flyers is officially over, maybe, right? 21 points, 4 turnovers, 1 rebound, 7 of 15 from the floor is his final stat line. Ibby Watson did finish with 10 after a 25-point performance yesterday. Double-double for the big guy in the middle, and Jordy Chimunga. Again, one more time, if you're just tuning in, the Dayton Flyers lose 73-68 to the VCU Rams. Here's my I did expect more this season, and Flyers fans, for those listening, upset about the loss. How do you feel about this season? Was this a season that you're just giving? Like, I keep hearing way too many people saying, oh, whatever, this year's been weird because of COVID. Folks, I don't think that this year has been weird because of, I mean, it's been weird because of COVID, but I don't think that the results of these games have been a result of COVID. Like, the Flyers were fortunate. They didn't suspend play once all year, Kev. I don't know many teams that were fortunate enough to say that. How many teams can you think of? Like, Ohio State, I think, is one.
Yeah, I don't think they had a pause, but I mean, I definitely could think of a lot more of that.
Wright State paused to start the season. Like they had to cancel. Their entire roster basically had it. When they played Marshall to open up the season, they had only had like 1 day of practice. They were shut down for the 2 weeks before the opening to the season. So they didn't have it in the middle of the year. And it was the Clemson football approach. Well, if you get it before the season, it's better than getting it in the middle. And the teams that didn't were able to, so that's why I don't like when I hear teams say, COVID's why we didn't play well, especially from the teams that didn't have any kind of pauses throughout the year.
I think when people are saying because of COVID, because they can't practice the way they want to practice, they can't do the things that they would do in a normal year, why they couldn't get the mojo going, the starts and stops, maybe not start and stop on your own team, but the starts and stops of other teams. Like there's been several cases where teams have flown to opponents' arenas and that team has an outbreak and then no game today, fly back to your school. Like I think that's what people mean by COVID. Like it's been difficult, just like in general. Like, man, we just can't shake this. Like you're just in a funk. Is a cloudy haze over you. You just don't feel like yourself. And that's kudos to the other teams that's out there, like a Michigan, like a Gonzaga, who put their blinders on, like a Baylor, and said, look, man, we about to make the most of this opportunity that we have. And kudos to them.
All right, one more time, 73-68, your final. The VCU Rams over the Dayton Flyers. The Dayton Flyers season comes to an end with the loss to the Rams here in the A-10 quarterfinals. Dayton Flyers, like I said, there is no NIT for the Flyers. So the Raiders done this week, the Flyers done this week, and now all eyes are on the Ohio State Buckeyes as Cruz Holtman and the Buckeyes wrap up their regular season tomorrow. And then it's on to the A-10 tournament, and then it's on to the NCAA tournament for them. But I think it's a very disappointing end of the season, and I know what you're saying, Kev. Like, yes, this season was different, but the thing is, like I always say, it's just like, no coach should be allowed to use that excuse either. Like, for instance, oh man, we're playing bad because it's raining. Well, it's raining and it's impacting both teams. COVID, everyone's being impacted by COVID. Everyone is not practicing the same as they did a year ago. So that's why I don't really buy into the COVID excuse. This team was having issues. This team was having a lot of issues with with player development and having issues with chemistry on the floor. Like, would the seniors on this roster have gotten along better? Would they have gotten along better if everything was normal? Like, I don't think so. That's why I spoke so highly of Obi Toppin earlier, is because Obi Toppin had every reason to be the cockiest, most arrogant SOB in the city of Dayton last year. And the dude, how many times I saw people post pictures of, they were just out and about and they'd run into him and he would take a picture with every single person. Obi was just such a good dude. Such a nice guy. Like that's the one thing. Like, and it really kind of hit me today listening to that interview that he did with Barton Hahn. Like, there's not one sense of arrogance in his voice at all. It's all about family. It's all about teammates. The way he talks about Coach Thibodeau, by the way, but this is an NBA player, by the way, that was the face of an entire city. Mm-hmm. He was the face of all of college basketball last year, National Player of the Year. And he would always talk about Coach Grant. Oh, yeah, Coach said this, Coach said that. He was always refer to Coach as Coach. And he's doing the same thing with Coach Tibbs. This is a guy that should be arrogant and cocky. And in the NBA, you have a coach that everyone is saying is disrespecting him by not giving him more playing time. And I'm sure Obi would love to play more. But Obi, you would never know it the way he addresses the media. He goes on the radio today on ESPN Radio and did a killer interview and was so respectful about Coach Thibodeau, just basically saying, oh, man, Coach, he pushes me. I love Coach Tibbs. I love playing for him. This is a guy that Coach Tibbs is basically kind of shoving at the end of the bench and not giving him time, right? And here he is coming out. That's what I love. And then 2 years ago, when Obi Toppin went to get to get evaluated for the NBA, you know what I loved most about him, Kev, is because his sophomore, I don't even know what year it was for him. It was the second to last year.
Right.
Super athletic, could jump out of the gym, could score around the rim. Not a good three-point shooter. Couldn't hit the three. And they told him he needed to work on ball handling and he needed to work on his three-point shot. And you know what he did? He worked on his three-point shot and he worked on his ball handling and he could do it all. He could do everything for the Flyers that last year with UD last year. Jalen Crutcher goes to the same thing. And I don't think he didn't get better from 1 year to the next. And I said last year, Obi made like Jalen. Jalen's really, really good. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think Jalen took that next step this year. Jalen didn't get better this year. And that's the problem I have. And again, when you have guys like that aren't just collectively getting better, that's what we saw. I don't think anyone got better from last year. And I don't care that Chase Johnson left. This just wasn't a good year. There was a lot of highs, but there was way too many lows. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers. 457-9464. One more time, the final, the Dayton Flyers, they lose to the VCU Rams 73-68. We'll have more reaction from that game on the other side. We'll give you one more time the stat rundown of that. Again, Jalen Crutcher's career done, Ibby Watson, Jordy Chimunga. Could they come back? Of those three, if you could only pick two, Flyer fans, think about this during the commercial break. Ibby Watson, Rodney Chapman, Jalen Crutcher, Jordy Chimunga. If you could only pick two of those four to come back next year, who are you picking? We'll be back in a moment. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Frickers is ready with Frickin' Madness. Frickers' new mobile app allows you to order online and score points for free food and loyalty visits. Frickers is ready for you to catch all the action of the March to the National Championship. Dine in and win with Frickers chicken wings, ice cold beer, and all of the games. Score big by downloading Frickers' new app and receive loyalty points, free food, and order online. Your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
The Big Hoopla is a volunteer organization that holds events for our Dayton region surrounding the NCAA Men's First Four basketball tournament held in UD Arena since the inception of the games in 2001. While we have lent the first four games to Indy this year, they will be back in Dayton for next year and through 2026. Dayton is the epicenter of college basketball. Join us in cheering on those exceptional college teams playing in this year's First Four. The Big Hoopla is planning already for the return of college basketball to Dayton in 2022. Hashtag the road starts here.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get a stylish solution for every room with window treatments at Menards and save with 11% off everything. Get Window Images room darkening vinyl and aluminum blinds, faux wood blinds, and cellular shades trimmed to width for free. Or order a custom style and size. Choose from durable, economical options to stunning custom designs, all 11% off. Good through March 6th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus, home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well, medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Why so serious? So raise your glass if you are wrong, and all the right ways are.
spilled your drink? Quick, the Quicker Picker-Upper. Bounty picks up spills and messes quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading value brand. So you can get back to the party. Bounty, the Quicker Picker-Upper.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing, discount drive-bys, and mile wise. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Smoothbrook, Illinois.
Remember, customize and save with Liberty Mutual Insurance Company. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Buckeye fans, every Monday night at 6 p.m., make sure to keep it locked in right here on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes for the Buckeye Roundtable Show. Paul Keels and the crew will bring you the biggest Buckeye headlines on the football field and on the hardwood. It's the Buckeye Roundtable Show, Monday nights at 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Fire Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
More and more just keeps coming out about this Tiger Woods crash from last week. Was it last week?
Yeah.
And no disrespect, but like I think way too much was being made of it. Like he got in a car crash and he was fine, to a certain extent. But like the coverage was reminded me of Kobe's coverage, and Kobe passed away. So this wasn't the same. And the fact that we are 10 plus days later and stuff, I mean, ESPN affidavit, Tiger found unconscious after crash. Well, look at the car. What did you expect him to be? Like, why is this reporting coming? It's just, and I guess the thing I'm interested in is, do people care? Do people actually care?
I think so. I think people care.
And I don't mean care about Tiger.
Not care
about the coverage, I guess. Like,
yeah, I think people want to know. I'm thinking, especially in the society we live in now, man, people want as much information as they can in short blips.
Do we need to know that he was unconscious, though? And like about the black box that they put there was a black box in the car, I guess, that they had to get a warrant for,
right?
To be able to get what is the black box? What are they talking about? Is that like a plane?
I guess he was driving a vehicle that was lent to him by the golf course or whatever. And it had a black box in it, so it's going to tell you everything that a black box would tell you in an airplane, like how fast.
Oh, that's what I meant, like the plane
and everything like that. Yes, the exact same technology in that vehicle. I think the coverage was done because of the Kobe situation. I think like reports were coming out, and especially where you're dealing with TMZ, and I know a lot of people feel a certain way about TMZ, but like it or not, man, when TMZ reports stuff, 9 times out of 10, it ends up being true. TMZ was the first ones to come with the unfortunate news of Kobe Bryant and everybody that was on that helicopter. And the other news networks were slow to break the news because, they want to have 2 sources and everything like that. Is a very touchy situation. But like, I think nowadays, like people want to be first. So I think that ESPN was just kind of like giving the people what they wanted, like giving all the information. I think people truly were locked in on everything that was going on with him, because there was a moment where we didn't know anything. It's like all we knew that he crashed and this is what the car looks like. Well, is he alive? Is he in critical condition? What type of injuries does he have? Because people directly go to, oh man, is he going to be able to golf again? He's having surgery? Where's he having surgery on? End up being his legs, not his back, like it was first reported. So I think people want to know these things.
That's weird. I mean, Tiger got in a crash. That's the report. Tiger's going to be okay. Boom. People fascinate me with being so obsessed with needing to know every detail of the recovery stages of Tiger Woods. Again,
I think that's for every celebrity.
That's weird to me. There's not one person that I am that outside of my family or close friends that I'm that emotionally invested into wanting to know the update. I have family members battling cancer right now. My grandma has dementia right now, so I'm constantly checking in, seeing how they're doing, whatever. But to take the time to sit there and say, gotta go to ESPN to see if there's an update on Tiger. It's been 10 days. I got to find out, find out what. Anyways, that's just weird. And by the way, they're doing it just like everything that is ever posted is done for one reason only. Clicks. Period. Like,
and
nothing is done genuinely. When the helicopters are circling the wreck at the helicopters. Yeah, I mean, even the news outlets who send their helicopters to go cover the Kobe story. I mean, they're just trying to get any footage possible to be able to air on their network. Why? Because people are going to want to see the wreck. They're going to see the wreckage. How do you think that makes Kobe's family feel when they see, like, they don't even want to see, they want to get, and they can't hide from it. Tiger's family was going through it. It fascinates me. It's never going to change because it's always been this way, but if there's a high-speed chase on the highway and you got O.J. Simpson in the car running away, you better put that on the air. I'll watch that for hours. I tell you that much. So there's that. But nonetheless. All right, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. We'll close out with this over here. Here's the top 10 in Todd McShay's latest mock draft. Okay. If you're a Buckeye fan, this is interesting. The number 1 overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars, of course, select Trevor Lawrence, quarterback out of Clemson. No surprise there. That's definitely not going to change. The New York Jets, I mean, this is Mel Kiper saying this, and now Todd McShay, quarterback, Zach Wilson out of BYU. The only upside to selecting a quarterback, if you're the New York Jets in this draft, when you have like $68 million in cap space, keep it so they have $68 million in cap space, Kev. Mm-hmm. The only plus side to selecting a quarterback in this year's draft is the fact that you get to reset the clock on the quarterback deal. Right. Remember how we've talked about the importance of, the Browns trying to win right away in Baker's rookie deal. The same thing with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. They wasted year 1 and they might waste year 2 depending on what they do this offseason. If you are the Jets, you have $68 million in cap space. So you probably could say, okay, well, we could take a chance and roll the dice with Sam Darnold and select skill and position players, or maybe trade that second pick and get a load of picks later and rebuild that way. Or use that number 2 pick, get Zach Wilson, and then have $68 million to fill the rest of the holes. The Jets are going to be a much improved team next year. But it basically comes down to who is better between Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson. And right now, it's like, I don't even know if I was the GM. I don't know who I would feel good. For one, I don't even think Zach Wilson would be in my conversation anyways. But nonetheless, I think it only makes sense to select a quarterback for that very reason. A rebuild is a reset. And I don't think you can reset if you have a quarterback not on a rookie deal, especially with the market value being at least at 30. And I couldn't stomach paying Sam Darnold 30. I just couldn't. I mean, people made fun of us yesterday for saying Baker should start at 30. Baker deserves to start at 30. No, Sam Darnold doesn't. Not all his fault. Right. The Jets did no favors. We looked at all the Browns did for Baker. Look what the Bengals are trying to do for Joe Burrow. I've never once felt like the Jets have tried to do anything for Sam Darnold, and yet he's the face of the blame for why the Jets have struggled over the last couple of years. I'm surprised that it's Zach Wilson, but I'm not surprised that they're willing to take a rookie quarterback for that very reason.
That's why we talk about coaching really matters. When you go to an organization that has a strong foundation and a strong situation, I mean, look how everybody was all hyped that when Dwayne Haskins got cut by the Washington football team and the Pittsburgh Steelers picked him up, like, oh yeah, this is going to work because the Steelers have a good, solid organization and everything like that. Look what happened with Baker Mayfield when they got some good coaching this year. All those things matter, and it truly matters about where you go in the NFL. I not for 1 second do I believe that Tom Brady would have turned out to be Tom Brady if he ended up going to the worst team in the NFL. He's a great quarterback, no doubt about it, but him falling to the right situation and him working his butt off allow him to become potentially the best quarterback of all time. Like, all those things matter. All this stuff matters. Yeah, there's guys that no matter where you put them, they're going to be ballers. But I don't truly believe that works with the quarterback position. I truly believe when you're a quarterback, you do need to be in the right spot. Like a linebacker, you stick him in the middle of the field, go tackle a bunch of dudes. He can do that anywhere. The scheme,
they can be good on a bad team. Yeah. Corners can be good on a bad
defensive
team.
Ends,
safety, yeah.
But a quarterback, you need to have things working in your favor, and you need everybody on the same page for you to succeed. And I don't think the Jets put him in the situation to succeed. And if I was him, I would be one to get out of here. I would want to try to get a fresh start, a clean slate, because obviously they're going to be going in a rebuild. Shoot, they've been rebuilding since I got here.
Yep. So
if there's somebody out there who wants me, hey man, trade me. Let me get up out of here. Let me try something different, because like you said, the cap thing, like, I mean, he can't even say like, oh man, give me $30 million. Like, well, you haven't done anything. But his argument like, well, you haven't given me anything. So it's going to be the
and you're not going to ask for less. Yeah. You're going to ask for what? I mean, we've talked about that. You could ask for whatever you want. Doesn't mean that you're going to get it. Dak comes to mind, but Dak,
the chicken or the egg thing.
What's funny is Dak isn't making more on the franchise tag than what he would if he would just get a damn long-term deal. But the risk in that when you gamble on yourself, Kirk Cousins did it. When you gamble on yourself, you're going to get paid more in that short term, but you're also risking, and then like when Dak got hurt last year, missed the whole year, you're risking a career-ending injury and then never getting paid. So there's that end to it. But no, as far as that goes, that's going to be something to keep an eye on, by the way. And it's funny, too, the highest paid positions in football on the offensive side of the ball, quarterback, wide receiver, and running back, they're the three most dependent positions in all of football. Mm-hmm. You can't be a good quarterback without good offensive line and wide receivers. Wide receivers can't be good wide receivers unless they have a good quarterback who needs a good offensive line. Running backs can't be good unless there's a good offensive line and unless there's some weapons down the field to kind of open up the field a bit. They are the three most dependent positions in football, but yet they're the first ones we blame every time something goes wrong.
Right. Look at Joe Thomas. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He was on an 0-16 team.
And people get mad when I say that too. I'm like, it's a fact. He's a really good player.
It
but
don't matter.
It's so tough for me to. I mean, he's one of the best of all time. Maybe he's one of the best Browns of all time, but one of the best of all. You're on an 0-16 team, but it's not his fault. But it's like, anyways.
He ain't give up sacks.
Yeah. It's like the ship is sinking, but hey, it wasn't me that ran into the iceberg. Hey, real quick as we run down this, the Carolina Panthers move up to number 3 to select Justin Fields. I like that. First three picks going to quarterbacks. So Panthers take Justin Fields at number 3. The Falcons take Trey Lance at number 4. 4 picks, 4 quarterbacks, picks 1 through 4. Trevor Lawrence, of course, to the Jaguars and Urban Meyer. The Jets are going to take Zach Wilson. The Panthers are going to take Justin Fields, and the Falcons are going to take Trey Lance, quarterback from North Dakota State, according to Todd McShay's latest mock draft. The Bengals, Penny Sewell, no problem with that. I wish they would go in a different direction and build it through the free agency, but you can't go wrong here. Kyle Pitts, tight end from Florida, going to the Eagles. Jamar Chase, wide receiver from LSU. Todd McShay has going to the Lions. Miami Dolphins, he has them who traded back to number 8. Devontae Smith, wide receiver from Alabama. And then the Niners will skip ahead for a quarterback. They are going to select Mac Jones, quarterback from Alabama. They're going to trade with the Denver Broncos. And then at number 10, this hasn't changed. Patrick Surtain, the second cornerback out of Alabama, to the Dallas Cowboys. So there's that. We wish we had more time to go into that more. Real quick, I bet it's a linebacker. Let's go all the way back to the Cleveland Browns, who are at number, Zaven Collins, outside linebacker from Tulsa, at number 6. And your Pittsburgh Steelers are taking Najee Harris, running back out of Alabama. I like that. They need a running back. I know you're set on Connor, and we're out of time to argue.
I'm cool on Connor. I would offensive line, bro. I don't care who it is. Offensive line.
Spend that money on the offensive line. That's how you do it.
Fix it.
All right, folks. Hey, have a great weekend. The Dayton Flyers season is officially over. They lose to VCU earlier this afternoon. That is final. Congratulations to all 4 seniors on a great career. Maybe some of them come back. But that does it for us here. Reds baseball spring training coming up later on tonight, 8 o'clock, the first pitch. Tomorrow, Ohio State basketball. They wrap up the regular season. And then Big Ten tournament action next week. So
gooseneck.
Have a great weekend, everybody.